I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe. Ya man's Uncle Freezy. What's good? Yo, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. And quite frankly, I just want to get right into it, right? I want to get right into it. I ain't gonna dance around. I ain't gonna rope-a-dope you and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get right into it, right? Let's get right into it. Donovan Mitchell should be on the Knicks radar, right? Donovan Mitchell should be on the New York Knicks radar, right? Donovan Mitchell should be on Leon Rose's radar, right? Right? Should be. Right now. Chief target number one. Danny Lee is in the building. Miss Geraldine, what's good? Julian Blum is in the building. What's good? Wapo. What's good? Chuck Allen is in the building. What's good? What's that? William, what's good? William. Hey, Khaled Pasha's in the building. Khaled Pasha's in the building. Salute. What's good? Hey, y'all. So I got this thing that I want to talk to y'all about. Y'all understand where I'm going. You see the thumbnail. You see it's Donovan Mitchell. Right? Right? And I don't have a theme. Like the only thing in my mind is like this Donovan Mitchell deal is like the hunt for Red October. William, what's good? Eli M is in the building. What's good? I appreciate y'all, man. I love you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. I love rocking with y'all. People like, yo, how you get the energy to come on every day, be on all day, every day, all day, every day. I love y'all, man. And they ain't cap. I love rocking with y'all. I love rocking with y'all, man. Wapo says, heard the Knicks are hesitant to give all their picks necessary to make a deal, but I also heard the Jazz are not willing to deal Mitchell. Hey, we are going to get into that and break that down, bro. You know why we're going to get in there and break that down? We too smart for that. We too smart. We are legit too smart to look at all the pawns being positioned and think the battle is about the pawns being positioned. Wapo. Wapo. You feel me, right? You hear me. Listen to me. Wapo. Check it out. The pawns are being positioned on the chessboard so that the other pieces can get better angles at the targets they desire. That's it. That's the move. Right? But at the same time, Harlem Girl is in the building. What's good? Winner Martinez, what's good, man? Good to have you. Hey, Martinez, we about to get into that. We are legit about to get into that right now. But here's the thing. This topic is delicate. So I can't just say the end thing first. Right? I can't say the end thing first. I got to set this up. Right? Set this up so everybody can understand and so y'all can help me understand too. Because I have a theory on how everything is going to pan out, but I also need y'all feedback. And I'm sorry if y'all thought, like, if y'all believe, if y'all have a inclination that I think I'm the smartest dude in the room, I'm sorry. Right? I look at this as a group thing, like all of us together figure this thing out. And I don't rock like I don't pretend to be the smartest guy around. So I believe in the group think some, right? Like I want to listen to what y'all say too. And it may influence what I think going forward. And then also, I want to say some stuff and maybe influence your stance. Right? But not in a dictator kind of way, but just offering, hey, did you consider this? Did you consider this alternative? And that's the reason why the Donovan Mitchell thing is like the hunt for Red October. Right? The hunt for Red October. White Falcon is in the building. What's good? Khaled Pasha says, I really want RJ at the 2. I'm going to hey, listen, I want to get into all that stuff. Trust me, I want to get into all that stuff. But what I want to do first is establish all of the major players. I want to establish all the major players, right? And by establishing all the major players, we can understand what moves follow, right? So, who are the major players from the Knicks' perspective? And what's good? And sorry if it seemed like I'm all over the place, but listen, y'all know how this works. When I first start and all my people come through, I gotta shout them out. Y'all know how this works. It's like Cheers. It's like Cheers when Norm walk in the bar. So as Norm walk in the bar, everybody like, Norm! That's how it is with y'all, man. This is like Cheers right here. This is like Cheers right here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when everybody come through, you know what I'm saying? When everybody come through, we got to shout them out. Right? It is what it is. Y'all know how it is. It's love. We got to show love to our people. You know what I'm saying? When they come through. Right? Khaled Pasha says, next year we're going to get a top draft pick. Next year we're going to get the free agent. Next year such and such is going to come. Next year. Hey, I'm going to get to that. I'm gonna get to that because we alluded to it yesterday when we had the frustrating conversation about Kevin Durant. When we had the frustrating conversation about Kevin Durant yesterday, we kind of alluded to a lot of stuff, but we're not going to do allusion today. Allusion is not the topic du jour today. The topic du jour today is the hunt for Donovan Mitchell and who all is involved, right? And what would it take for the Knicks to acquire their target, right? And what position do we have to be in order to secure the target? So the first thing I want to mention to you is who is the trade partner? Y'all tell me who the trade partner is for Donovan Mitchell. Let me know. Real King is in the building. Real King says David Fizdale not trading with us. Colin Pasha, you read my mind. I swear, yo. I swear some of y'all are like I have this thing on my forehead. Like I have a billboard across my forehead, and y'all just read me so fast that I can't really even get into the entertainment part. I can't even get into the dressing part. Y'all just read my mind like I have a billboard across my head. So I asked the question, who is the trade partner? Right? Who is the trade partner? Don't be fooled, everybody. The trade partner is not the Utah Jazz. The trade partner is not Donovan Mitchell. The trade partner is not a third team sneaking in to get draft picks. Right? Right? The trade partner is Danny Ainge. The trade partner is Danny Ainge. You feel me? The trade partner is Danny Ainge. So here's the thing. Yo, Marv is in the building. What's good? Yo, I got Marv is in the building. Marv, what's good? Hey, y'all. I'm gonna put the link in the chat in a few minutes. Let me get this spot. Let me start the show. Let me get the show crank up, and then I'm gonna put the link in the chat because I want to hear y'all perspective on a lot. No pun intended. Marvin's perspective. No pun intended. Right there, right? But I want to do this thing first because I don't want to get sidetracked with Tom Thibodeau won't play nobody or Julius Randle body language, right? I don't want to get sidetracked with that because that's not the topic today, right? So let me get this out first, and then I'm going to throw the link in the chat. Heck, what's good? Hey, Yankees Morning Brew, I got to call you after we do this right here. We got to talk on the phone about some stuff. Mr. Carlos Sink, what's good? He said, I wouldn't trade with Danny, finesse God Ainge. We got to get into that. Philip Jones is in the building. Hey, I'm gonna do that. Just let us do this. Let us do this, and then we definitely got to chop it up, bro. Mo Ed, what's good? So getting back to the topic and everything, right? Our opposition or not opposition, so to speak. The people we're looking to transact with is not the Utah Jazz. It's not Donovan Mitchell. It's Danny Ainge. It's Danny Ainge. Frank Matos is in the building. Donald Cannon was good. Was good. Corey was good. Corey Smith was good. Yeah, man. Oh, listen. If you haven't done so far, subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Share it with your friends, man. Share it. Joe Madden. What's good? I don't care what Joe Madden say. Don't nobody give Joe Madden a call sign like that. I don't care. And when Joe Madden walk in a restaurant, he don't hear his name like that. Joe Madden get that call sign in one place. One place. So our dance partner in this twisted tango is Danny Ainge. And for those that forgot who Danny Ainge is, let me refresh. Let me do a quick refresher. I'm going to do a quick refresher. Just refresh your mind, jog your memory on who Danny Ainge is. Right? First of all, let me start by saying Danny Ainge ain't nothing to play with. Okay? Danny Ainge is nothing to play with. Right? Coach Color Blocks is in the building. Yo, hey, Coach, we got a lot of chopping up to do today, bro. A lot of chopping up to do today. We have to talk that basketball talk today. I notice a lot of people are taking the news reporting aspect. I ain't doing that. And I don't ever want to do that. That ain't my thing, man. Worldwide L is in the building. XO Sports Talk is in the building. Salute to XO Sports Talk. Subscribe to the channel. Salute. Y'all show them some love. Show some love to For the Love of the Game YouTube channel. Make sure y'all go over there and like all their videos and smash this. Now, you don't have to smash the subscribe button, but you can touch it up. Touch up the subscribe button. Touch up the subscribe button over there. Salute to Worldwide L, Chef, and Hardwell. I love those brothers, man. I wish if my schedule was different, I swear to God, I would hang out with them all day if my schedule was different. If my schedule was different, I would be over there with them guys all day long. But look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Who is Danny Ainge? Danny Ainge ain't nothing to play with, man. Around this league, Danny Ainge ain't nothing to play with. Right? Danny Ainge is that guy for real. Right? Danny Ainge is the ghost of the division. It is in boxing terms. Danny Ainge is the ghost of the division. let's not get it twisted, right? Danny Ainge is that guy, right? I'll give you an example of who Danny Ainge is. Yesterday, he traded a defensive center to a team that already had a Hall of Fame center in his prime, got back a lot of veterans, and got 4 first-round picks. That's who Danny Ainge is. That's who Danny Ainge is, right? And trust me, I'm going to get to who we are. But I want to show you who the guy across the battlefield is first. Junior is in the building. Danny Ainge is the Don King of the NBA. He just finessed the T-Wolves yesterday. I don't know about overrated. Let me tell y'all something. You rate something based off of a scale and a base amount, right? Off a scale like 1 to 10, and you base it off of a certain number like 0 in most cases, right? But let me tell y'all something, man. In this rebuilding space, Danny Ainge is the standard. In this rebuilding space, like everybody's like, play the kids. I want to rebuild, man. Accumulate draft picks, blah, blah, blah. Danny Ainge is the gold standard. And for those that don't think so, look at this Boston Celtics team that has gone to the NBA Finals this past season. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 seasons ago. Danny Thomas says, oh, let me say this. Thank you for the generous contribution, bro. We appreciate everybody that helped keep the lights on in here, so to speak. Everybody that keep the lights on. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the generous contribution. You know what I'm saying? And financially and verbally. Danny says, been subscribed for a while now, but never really commented on live stream. But if we don't get Mitchell, thoughts on a trade for sending Randall and Rose to Toronto for Spicy P? I honestly don't deal with Ainge. Thank you for subscribing. I'm hoping that the subscription is worth it. It's what we're looking to try to do here. I know a lot of times we get into heated debates and we have a lot of perspectives from a lot of different angles and experiences, but this is a Knicks fans channel, right? I'm not a news reporter, right? I'm not a columnist. I'm not a journalist. I'm a Knicks fan. We're one of the most popping Knicks fans channels on YouTube, and we give people the opportunity to come in and have their say. Do I always agree? Does it sometimes get contentious? Do we get spicy at times? Check to all those things. But we do it because out of the love for these Knicks and out of the love for Knicks fans. So thanks to y'all who have subscribed. And if you hadn't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And please consider adding to the conversation. Because the one thing we despise as Knicks fans is the Knicks monologue that we get from certain people. You see them, they get on the screen and they have a Stephen A. Smith. We despise stuff like that, right? The Knicks monologue, when Knicks fans don't have any say, we just get force-fed a narrative. And so we don't do that here. I want to hear and see y'all opinions. T. Williams is in the building. What's good? So Danny Ainge just fleeced another front office this week, right? Just fleeced a front office this season. This week. I'm sorry. What I would say to those that are not paying attention, don't look at what the Utah Jazz got in return for Rudy Gobert. Look who pulled the trigger. Don't look at the bullet. Look at the person that pulled the trigger, so to speak. DPE in the building. DPE in the building, speaking straight to what I just mentioned about the Knicks monologue. When somebody has a platform, they just speak straight to you and give you what they want you to have, or try to trigger your emotion so that you'll continue to click on their stuff. They like to call it being compelling, right? Big Oso is in the building. What's good? So Danny Ainge owns the rights to the Utah Jazz own the rights to Donovan Mitchell, right? The organization. But Danny Ainge is in possession of the Donovan Mitchell contract. Y'all see who this is on the phone? Look at that. Staffadan. Hey, hold on, y'all. Let me answer this thing for Staffadan real quick. That was Staffadan. What I do in this Knicks space is call around, make sure everybody doing good, do like the wellness checks, and he missed my call, and so he was calling me back. But basically, I'm just calling to check, make sure ain't nothing crazy going on. Paris Duggar, thank you for your generous contribution. Paris Duggar says Donovan Mitchell and Kyrie can't win alone, so no. I'm going to get to that. So now that we have established somewhat what Danny Ainge is, let's speak to what the Utah Jazz are, and then that way we can speak to who Leon Rose is and what the New York Knicks are. Right? The Utah Jazz don't have a ton of assets aside from what they've acquired in trades, right? Outside of Donovan Mitchell, their players are really not that attractive. They're big players in a major play, right? Mike Conley is like Q-Tip in Poetic Justice. He's just a random boyfriend. That's it. But it's Q-Tip. But all he is in the major scheme of things is just the boyfriend in the beginning of the movie. That's it. But it's Q-Tip. But that's all he is the boyfriend in the beginning of the movie. And Mike Conley, at his age and his contract on the Utah Jazz, does not help anybody. So remember now that I mentioned the name Mike Conley. Remember that. Remember this name, Mike Conley. Remember this, because as we go forward, his name is going to come up again, and I'm gonna tell you why Mike Conley is important to the future of the New York Knicks. I'm going to tell you why Mike Conley is important to the future of the New York Knicks. So who are the Utah Jazz? The Utah Jazz are a rock solid franchise, right, that has never won an NBA title. Never. I don't ever remember the Utah Jazz having the number one pick. I don't ever remember the Utah Jazz having a big three. The Utah Jazz as an organization is the honor roll student for the most part. Rock solid, both on the floor and financially, right? Crazy fan base. Does whatever it takes to stay relevant. Whatever it takes to stay relevant, they'll do it without compromising their integrity. Right? That's the Utah Jazz. Right? What did the Utah have in resources and players that would entice the Knicks to do a deal with them? They only have one thing, and that is Donovan Spider Mitchell. Or Spider. Mr. Ray is in the building. Cool J33. What's good? A to Z Media. What's good? Hey, no doubt. Hey, I see what you're saying there. Clarkson and all them guys, they decent players and all that stuff. I get it. But I'm not doing a blockbuster deal for Jordan Clarkson. That's the point that I'm getting at. So, help me do this, guys and gals. Who are the New York Knicks? Y'all help me establish something. Y'all tell me who the New York Knicks are right now. Because when I was thinking about this on the ride home, I was struggling to find out the identity of the New York Knicks. I was struggling to find out, to identify who the New York Knicks are. Who are the New York Knicks? Y'all in the chat, help me determine or figure out or uncover who the New York Knicks are. Big also says a retirement home for NBA players. Y'all help me identify who the New York Knicks are. Somebody help me with that. Who are the New York Knicks? Mr. Ray says exactly that. The Knicks are a team without an identity. What I would say to you is this. Right now, the Knicks are a team without an identity. And if I sound like Mr. Ray, I guess it's because I have a billboard on my forehead and Mr. Ray read me like a book. At this moment, I'm not saying forever, and I'm not saying in the future. I'm saying at this moment, we can't figure out who the New York Knicks are. At this moment. So don't think I'm talking bad about my favorite team or I'm trying to do Knicks for clicks, because I'm not. But the best player is Julius Randle. At the moment, the best player is Julius Randle, right? And a lot of us want him gone. So if we want him gone, what are we if we don't have a, you feel me? You understand how we're in this weird space? Knicks for Life says, you need a maestro to run the show, and we got one. Them. Yeah. Right. DPE says, with Tips coaching, the Knicks are a blown 20-point lead team. Kinda. Yo, Ralph Unreal is in the building. What's good? I got a puppy that want to chime in. Hey, I'm reading comments over here, Benny. So we identified Danny Ainge, we identified the Utah Jazz, we identified the Knicks. Right now, we're a ship, but we're a teeny bit rudderless, like we have an identity problem. So who did you say? Knicks for Life? I didn't say that. Hold on. We have two people with the same moniker. Oh, okay. All right. Big also says, we are a young team going in the right direction. I get that part. I get it. That's what we seem like we are. But let me ask y'all this. Well, now that we have established who Danny Ainge is, who the Utah Jazz is, who the New York Knicks are, who is Leon Rose? Who is the Leon Rose front office? What is the identity of the Leon Rose front office? Y'all help me figure it out. What is the Leon Rose front office? What is it? What is the Leon Rose front office? In my opinion, the Leon Rose front office is wait. That was the producer of the show. She was like, hey, you hungry? I was like, nah. Shout out to the producer of the show, Miss Mocha. Miss Mocha, you looking good, girl. Clap your hands emoji. Smiley face emoji. What is the Leon Rose front office? The Leon Rose front office is, in a frustrating way, a model of the Sam Presti front office, in my opinion. The Leon Rose front office is a frustrating model of the Sam Presti front office. And why am I boring you with all this stuff? Because once we start the conversation in earnest, we want to move forward with a mindset that we understand who all the major players are in this hunt for Red October. Paris Duggan, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggan says, we're closed for renovation. Please come back a year from the draft. Fumbling Phil's in the building. What's good? Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. So now that we understand, or have at least and understanding of the participants. Let me do this. I want to throw the link in the chat. I'll throw the link in the chat, man, for the homies. T. Williams says, why so why are you disrespecting Presti? I'm not, no, calm down. You gotta, yeah, T. Williams, don't now don't get that one twisted. What I said about Leon Rose is a frustrating version of Sam Presti. That was no disrespect to Sam Presti. Hey, anybody ever saw a frustrating version of Michael Jackson? That's no disrespect to Michael Jackson. Sir, how are you today?
Hey, good afternoon. What's going on, Nick Nation?
So, bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think this Donovan Mitchell deal is gonna happen with the Knicks. Thank you. I think they're going to acquire Donovan Mitchell, but I think once the details come out, the Knicks are going to be shocked at what we gave up to get him. Shocked at what we gave up to get him.
I gotta see it to believe it, Freezy. I gotta see it to believe it. I put in the chat that it's Leon and the Pump Fakers.
That's who they are.
It's Leon and the Pump Fakers. Yeah, it's like he's the lead singer, and the rest of his crew, whoever you can, is whoever he's listening to, they're the band of the Pump Fakers. Because we just saw Utah unload a contract that was over $200 million, and they got their 5 picks and their 4 players or whatever, and they moved on. Yep. They've moved everything, every comfortable piece around Donovan Mitchell. From what, if you believe what you hear, they've either fired them, let them go, or whatever. So Donovan is out there. Donovan's in New York every weekend. He's been here the whole summer.
The whole summer.
He's been here the whole summer, Freeze.
Right.
So what are we doing? So what are Leon and the Pump Fakers willing to do?
So hey, Joe Man, what's good? Let me say this real quick. I think Leon Rose, and listen, I didn't want to speed up the conversation because I know we're gonna be here for a minute, but I'm gonna just throw this detail out there so people can understand that I do have a direction that I'm going with all this dialogue and all of that, and all these minute details. People like, Uncle Freezy, hurry up and get through the minutia. We don't care about the minutia. We just want to get down to the nitty gritty. Right, I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying to y'all is the Knicks are going to acquire Donovan Mitchell, and we are going to be appalled by what we paid. And the reason why, and here's the thing, Leon Rose, Brock Allen, and those boys are wanting to be cheap, right? But listen, I'm gonna say this. I want y'all to just be patient with me for just like a couple of minutes while I get this out, since there's people in the virtual chat now. Think Carmelo Anthony and Donnie Walsh, and then think Leon Rose and Donovan Mitchell. The major player here is not Danny Ainge, right? It's not Leon Rose. It's not the Utah Jazz. It's not the New York Knicks. The major player in all of this is not Donovan Mitchell. The major player here is James Dolan.
Yes.
Right. And so before everybody chat, before y'all go crazy, hear me out on this. Donnie Walsh and Leon Rose went on this frustrating dance at the beginning of their tenure. Like we remember Donnie Walsh fondly at the, in the middle of his turn. At the end, things like, man, he in a wheelchair? What? He got people talking for him. So it was a lot of stuff at the end of it, right? At the end of his tenure, we like,
is that a gurney up in the press box?
yes, yeah, all this stuff. Yes, all this stuff. We don't remember it as fondly as we remember the middle, but at the beginning of Donnie Walsh's tenure, we were like, why won't he do something? Why won't he do something? We just sitting here. Why won't he do something? And he was patient. He was like, I'm not going to be the knee-jerk team president like the previous guys. Y'all remember that? He was like, yeah, oh, okay. I know such and such. I know Billy Owens is available. I'm not going after Billy Owens, right? All these small moves that we could have done. He was like, okay, I get it. I know Aaron McKee is out there, but we ain't going after Aaron McKee, right? And Nick says, but we need a defensive point guard, and all these type of things, right? Right. What's going to happen, in my opinion, as we move forward and Donovan Mitchell becomes more and more available, is James Dolan is going to lose patience. In my opinion, James Dolan is going to lose patience because the media has already put Donovan Mitchell and the New York Knicks together, right? But when it doesn't happen, the owner is going to lose patience and like, hey, man, listen, I'm tired of this song and dance. Either you're going to do it or you not. Either we're going to go get Donovan Mitchell or we're going to put out a statement saying we are rebuilding. And Knicks fans are going to go crazy if they can't get what the one thing I've learned about I've been a hardcore Knicks fan since about 1975. Hardcore. Little kid writing Clyde Frazier name on my food. Anybody in here remember Fruit of the Loom? Fruit of the Loom t-shirts? I used to write Clyde Frazier and Knicks all over all my plain white tees. I wear them to school, write it in a black marker, Frazier on the back. And that ain't even my name. My last name Free. My last name ain't no Frazier. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to say to you guys is this. I think the Donovan Mitchell deal is going to happen, but the haul that we give up is going to be too much for some Knicks fans to stomach. So do I think it's going to happen? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen this summer? No. Right? I think the trade is going to happen in season, maybe December, after the snowball of emotions take charge of the Jazz fans and the Knicks fans. But mind you, the guy we're dealing with is a dude named Danny Ainge.
Well, Freezy, there's a big player. There's a big play in this. The All-Star games in Utah this year. They ain't going to host that without a star. The NBA won't allow it. The ownership won't allow it, saying, oh, yeah, we're going to host the All-Star game. By the way, it's a team that's in the smack middle of a rebuild. But they want to have the face. So I think they'll have Donovan. It'll be next year. I think this year's all gearing up to it. And which I think is good because with one more year off his deal, the price is going to go down. Because I'm all in for Donovan Mitchell, but when I seen I seen what was given up for Rudy Gobert, when I went back and I looked at the full details of all the unprotected picks, I nearly had a heart attack because I'm like, that's peanuts from what you're going to give up for Donovan. If that's what he got for Rudy, you're going to double that. RJ quickly. They ain't going to want Randall. They took back no salary for next year. They're in rebuild mode if they trade him. Randall's not in that deal. You're going to have to move Randall somewhere else to get something to go because he's not going to go to Utah. Right. So you're looking at RJ, you're looking at Quickly, you're looking at Obi, and you're looking at 5 or 6 picks.
If you think the Rudy Gobert deal was egregious, triple it. Right? If you thought 3 unprotected first round picks was triple, listen. Because we don't need a Donovan Mitchell right now. We're at the worst end of it. We want Donovan Mitchell right now. So you know how your need and your wants can be so diametrically opposed that the want outweighs the need. Like you want a car and dependable transportation. So that 2012 Hyundai can get you back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And do all the things in the city that you need for it to do. But when you find out that you might be able to get that medium-sized Mercedes-Benz SUV, it fits in your budget, that Hyundai is no longer in the conversation. Knicks fans are thirsty, is what I'm getting at. They want a star.
And here we have, more Knicks fans who are willing to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, how long? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter, because you know what? We have time to see a championship. We have time to get to Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, that's what we got.
We have time, because that's the thing is you empty the cover for Donovan Mitchell. We just signed Brunson, and Brunson, they can work together for a little bit because Conley and Mitchell played and it worked together in Utah, but they're not winning you a championship. And with the Knicks statement, I don't believe the Knicks statement yesterday. I think that was someone put that out there to kind of leverage or whatever.
But you think other
the
teams
statement was right? Are you winning a championship with what's left, after, or at least contending with what's left after you trade for Donovan? And my answer is no.
Yeah, but do you think
that's the only thing I'm worried?
You think other teams are going to be on the same timetable? Well, let's wait no. Teams are going to put their best deals together, and we're going to try and get this done today. That's what teams are going to do. The aggressive teams are going to do, because they're trying to win.
Utah's not going to do it. I don't think ownership's going to allow it because the All-Star. That's a major factor in there. That's a money thing with them, especially with their old fan base. They love Donovan Mitchell. So you move Donovan Mitchell and an All-Star, it's a big thing. So you wait the year, or even when the All-Star breaks just after the trade deadline, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so probably the next season. And listen, Kevin Durant's in the market too. So teams that be looking at Donovan Mitchell, some of them, you look at Miami. Miami has their eye on Kevin Durant right now. Some of the other teams are looking at Kyrie. So they're a factor in the price of what he's going to be and where he goes. Because Miami doesn't get Kevin Durant, it's a different story. But for a fact they can't afford, without giving up Jimmy Butler, to get KD and Donovan Mitchell, without giving up Jimmy.
I think the narrative for Utah is going to be a slight bit different, right? I think the Utah Jazz fan base likes Donovan Mitchell because he went there and became a star, right? But the Utah Jazz fan base is probably, basketball-wise, one of the smartest fan bases in the NBA. Right?
When they moved Deron Williams, didn't they get over it?
Yeah, quickly.
How fast? Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. They got over him fast.
Quickly. Deron Williams at that stage and that time in his career, it was a better player than Mitchell is today. At that time.
No, I get it. I just think just because the All-Star that made that year, because the All-Star games in Utah, I think that's going to make a factor into them holding on to him just for another year, and they have him for 4 more years. That's what I think. If the All-Star break wasn't in Utah, I think they'd be moving him this summer because they get the most from him now. But I think Danny Ainge is probably looking to move him. My thing is, our Utah ownership being let's just wait till this All-Star break's over with, and then we'll look at it.
Well, the two things you're not considering in that, Joe, is this. The Utah Jazz have a young, hip owner, right? And they have a team president that is a part of the old guard, right? So if you're Danny Ainge, you understand that nobody is looking to go play for the Utah Jazz unless they're check hunting. There's no harm in that either. There's no harm in being a professional basketball player. You know what I'm saying? There are thousands of people that want to do it every year that can't, right? But Utah, understanding who they are, embraces that. They know they're not a free agent destination, and they know when guys get unhappy there, things can go sour fast. I mean, and I say that, think about this. Karl Malone left the Utah Jazz to go play for the Lakers, and they embraced a dude named Andre Kirilenko. Like
Yes.
Karl Malone might be the greatest power forward to ever play, and they moved on to the Andre Kirilenko era like nothing happened. Like, okay, we want to appreciate who we have, right? Now, I'm not going to speak to all Utah Jazz fans because in my lifetime, I probably only met 2 or 3 of them. I mean, real people that like the Utah Jazz. That's their favorite team. I probably only met like 2 or 3 of them in my lifetime. Right? But
I don't think I've met anyone from Utah.
Bro, you got to get out of New York, bro. Joe, you got to go visit some places.
No, I've been nearly everywhere in this country, and I don't think because I've been to Utah, and I don't think I've ever sat and spoke with anyone from Utah.
Okay. I was gonna say, man, because yeah, but think about this. If you're a Utah and you're Danny Ainge and you're the owner of the Utah Jazz, right? The majority owner, not Dwayne Wade and them guys. But think about this. You have frustrating playoff losses over the past 4 seasons. I mean, frustrating losses, bro. Frustrating losses in the playoffs with Donovan Mitchell. And you go to the fan base and say, hey, listen, we're going to just start this thing over from scratch. We got a new coach from the Boston Celtics. He helped them get to the NBA Finals, right? What we're going to do is build this team the right way through the draft, right? And it's not going to take a long time. It's going to take 2 seasons of hardcore atrociousness. And we'll get, and I know atrociousness is not a word, but it's going to take 2 years of hardcore atrociousness. And what we'll do is we'll be right back where we are, except we'll be to where we are today is where we be in 2 years, right? But when we get back here in 2 years, the arrow will be pointing up, right? Because if you're Utah, why not trade Donovan Mitchell? Be the worst team in the league. The first hardcore draft pick in the Danny Ainge era is Victor W.
Or Scoot.
Or Scoot Henderson. Or the Thompson twins. Or the kid last name Black. I forget his first name.
Anthony Black, I think.
Yeah. You have multiple picks. You'll probably have, after you trade Spider, you'll have 3 picks in that draft. Right? And now you can go tell your fan base, this is what we're going to build around right here. Embrace these young kids. Right? I think the Donovan Mitchell era will be over as quickly as it started. Right? Nobody was like, oh, we love Donovan Mitchell. You know, they didn't know Donovan Mitchell wasn't the number 1 pick in his draft. They didn't say tank for Donovan Mitchell. He became Spider in his rookie year. Right? But if he leave the Utah, in my opinion, the Utah Jazz fan base will move on as quickly as the Donovan Mitchell thing was ushered out.
Of course they will. That's what they've always done.
Right. And so think about the Celtics. Do you think the Celtics trading Paul Pierce to Brooklyn are still mad that Paul Pierce got traded when a few years later they drafted Jason Tatum? They don't care. Who do you think that the Boston Celtics like best at small forward? Paul Pierce or Jason Tatum right now? They're not hurt. They're not hurt that Paul Pierce got traded. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them. It's one of them things. Like in those markets, man. Only Knicks fans do that. Only Knicks fans will be obsessed over a Carmelo Anthony trade almost 15 years after it happened.
And are still trying to justify why it was a bad trade.
Right.
Yeah, I see someone posted on Twitter was like the reason why they wouldn't do the Donovan Mitchell trade is because the Carmelo trade.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a completely different thing. And when you look back at that trade, didn't the Knicks get 2 Hall of Famers out of the trade?
So it's
the organization, what they did before and after the trade is what messed them up.
Right. Joe, you're right, man. But you know what though? We get obsessed with what an asset could be versus with what an asset is.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The assets we acquired was a veteran point guard coming off an NBA championship in Chauncey Billups and a scoring machine in his prime, Carmelo Anthony. Right? And the two things this organization always says we need, and I just saw it in the chat. Right here, Bodega Wi-Fi. Still need a small forward, power forward. And guess what we needed at the time when Melo was available? Small forward, power forward. Guess what we needed at the time of the Carmelo trade? A point guard. Guess what we need today? Or needed today before free agency? A point guard. Right?
That's what kills me. This thing has to come out the day after they sign Brunson. This stuff has to come out. It couldn't have come out before the draft or anything, because then it's like maybe you be hesitant about Brunson. That's the thing now. Does Brunson put you off the Mitchell train just because the fit, because the size? Like I said, it might work to a certain extent because Conley and Mitchell work for a bit, but
Conley and Mitchell worked for what? A one series.
It got them playoffs. It didn't win them anything, but it got to them playoffs.
And once a one series playoff win, they didn't get them anywhere.
Right.
But we're a Knicks fan sitting here at the 11 seed and wouldn't take Donovan Mitchell, be like, all right, at least get a playoff win. Because the thing with Brunson is you have him for 3 years. You can't pass off on Donovan Mitchell. You're gonna have him for 10 years.
Right.
You have Munchen signed 3-4 years. If it doesn't work out midway through, you can trade him or you just let him go after the 3 years. Mitch will be here. You trade for him, it's at least, because what age is he? 24, 25?
Right, 24.
You're going to have him at least 24. In his prime for 7 or 8 years.
Right. Right.
So that's one thing they have to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe, I'm not going to lie to you. I think the Donovan Mitchell thing is the Donovan Mitchell thing is real. Right? Now, on what day we acquire Donovan Mitchell, I'm not for certain.
Freezy, they don't have the heart to get it done, Freezy. You know this. They don't have the heart. They don't have the heart to get it done. Because why? Utah is going to ask for a lot of compensation, right? They're going to turn around and say, well, I'm only willing to give up 2 picks and not what it takes to go out there and get a player like that. You can't keep going. You can't keep getting on the phone and you pump faking. That's all they do. Every time they get on the phone with one of these teams and they start hearing what one of these teams, how they value their superstar, all of a sudden, click, we're good.
Yeah.
They'll then put it out to the Woj and the Bagleys of the world that they're stockpiling this pick. It's so funny that both of these guys will have the same narrative to tell us once the Knicks don't get the job done. They're holding on for that big trade coming, whatever. Well, the best damn player on the planet, according to some, is available. What better option can you possibly get than he?
Right.
Right. We're gonna go down that again.
Right.
No,
I see where you're coming from. You always have to listen.
No, I'm saying you have him. He's available. You got Donovan, who's available. You got players who's available. When it doesn't happen, you're gonna hear it's the next player that they are putting all the ammunition for. It's Greek It's Greek Creek in 2027. That's who they're waiting for.
Well, see, this is where I agree. Where Dolan would have to step in and be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" It's like piss or get off the pot. It's like, what's happening? Because when they got the job, it was a superstar, and with the connections with Donovan Mitchell to New York, to the agency, everything. It's been for 2 years. Donovan Mitchell's been the target. He's been the one that's been wanting to want out, and he's been the one they've been loading up for. Now they loaded up for him. Now he's wanting out. Now you can't say, "Oh, now too much." You can't do that. Because it's been out there for 2 years that they've been interested. So you have to at least make an offer.
Okay. Joe, I understand where you're coming from, but let me offer this. I think the Kevin Durant becoming available, or I don't want to say, let me rephrase it. Does the Kevin Durant becoming available thing lower the market value of a Donovan Mitchell, saying that teams have a pecking order of guys that they would be willing to trade for. And Donovan Mitchell and his greatness is not Kevin Durant, right? And hear me out on this. Kevin Durant is a unicorn for his position. The 3/4, the 6'11", sweet shooting, scoring machine, high rebounder, defensive impact, NBA champion, NBA MVP on a reasonable contract is available. And then you have a dude named Spider, an undersized guy at a undersized position, playing in obscurity, that has never won anything. He's an exciting player, but he is not a resourceful player. He's not a super productive player, so to speak.
Yeah, and this is where, to me, is you got to watch trading a bunch of assets for him, because it's like he has. I want to say Utah hasn't really done him great service building around him, but as I said, like, it's hard to do that because it's Utah. But at the same time, if we're trading all this to get him and it's picks, are we guaranteed that we have to be really comfortable that this dude in a free agent in like 2025 or 2026 is able to bring a second guy that's going to win us a chip? You have to be very confident if you're trading all this stuff to make sure you are getting somebody else. But the way that is now, none of these guys are hitting free agency now. Everyone's hitting the trade market. So when you're trading for them, you're putting in all your chips. So what do you have left then to trade for the next guy? You don't.
Hold on one second.
Everybody re-up. Booker, Towns, all these guys re-up.
Is that BK number 30 original in the building, sir?
Is that a Julius Randle jersey?
That's a no. That's a Bernard King jersey. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Oh man, I can't believe you went at me like that.
You our brother, bro. You our brother, and we love you, bro. You know that. You know that when you mess around. We don't do that. You our brother, bro. We love you, man.
What's good with y'all, man? How y'all doing this Saturday, man? Blessings to your brother, man.
Thank you, man. How you doing today? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm good. All of a sudden, y'all was real low, so I couldn't hardly hear y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm about to get ready to do my, you know what I'm saying, my weekend thing. You know what I'm saying? Go fill my cabinets up, man. You know, it's bill time. Took care of the bills. Now the next bill, I gotta fill my cabinets up. You know, gotta eat too. You know what I'm saying? Take care of everything before any type, party and anything, man. Needs come first.
Right. And so Jay Booker, before you jumped on, what I mentioned is, I think Kevin Durant being available may have suppressed Donovan Mitchell's trade market. And it's not because Donovan Mitchell is lesser of a player than he was before all the stuff got leaked to the media. But it's like the dinosaur entered the room, where Kevin Durant, at a position where most guys are 6'7", 6'8", great players, 22 points a game, whatever. This dude is 6'11", 7 foot at that position. Sweet shooting. You can't leave him open. Top 10 player of all time. Even right now, Kevin Durant is still probably 80% of the player he was coming out of Oklahoma City, right? Because of leg injuries and all that stuff, right? Probably 80%. Right. But even at 80%, he's better than 99% of the players in this league that have played the last 10 seasons, right?
Okay.
He enters the market when Donovan Mitchell once had the market all to himself. When Donovan Mitchell could have picked his destination, now Donovan Mitchell, it's like if you're Bobby Brown and you're rocking the crowd and you just found out that Michael Jackson just came in through the loading dock and he want to perform.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you Bobby Brown, you rock this way. You're a great performer, but now Michael Jackson is in the building.
to Bobby, you can leave through the back, or you can leave through the front, but leave is
definitely leaving.
but you definitely leaving. You definitely leaving the building, my guy.
Right.
Or go sit out there with the fans and watch the show.
Yeah, that's about it.
Right.
That's about it.
And so in a nutshell, that's what I'm describing the Donovan Mitchell trade market right now. Now you're going to get a lot in a return for Donovan Mitchell, but to the Knicks' fortune, the Michael Jackson in this scenario is not interested in joining the Knicks. He's interested in joining one of the other teams, right? That means the pathway for Donovan Mitchell to come to the Knicks has cleared the way, because there is no competition between Donovan Mitchell and KD who's going to get to the Knicks first, because the other guy doesn't want to come to New York. But what it does is the other suitors, the Toronto Raptors, the LA Clippers, the Miami Heats of the world, have their eyes on Kevin Durant only. And Kevin Durant has their eyes on them only. Right? So now it clears the way for Leon Rose and Danny Ainge to get it on. And what Joe mentioned, and it's smart, Utah's hosting the All-Star game. They want to have a star and all this stuff. What I would say to that is I think it'd be great for Utah. And this is just me speculating from a Knicks fan's perspective. I think it'd be great for, at the All-Star break, for Utah to be showing off their new acquisitions and their multiple draft picks and their stability as an organization, as opposed to having Donovan Mitchell wear their jersey during the All-Star break, knowing that rumors and speculation are abound. I would say instead of having all the smoke at the All-Star break, have peace at the All-Star break, and then have Utah just enjoy it. I think that's better for their long-term stability. What do y'all think? What do y'all say about that?
As long as they have Dwayne Wade as a part of their organization, he's their front guy. So come All-Star break weekend, whatever, it don't matter if they got Donovan is there or not, whatever. Dwayne is bigger in name anyway. Dwayne is global compared to someone like that. And Utah, out in those places, it's not all about the hype for them. Because remember, the more hype they get is the more you get people peeking into, their personal deeds out there in the West that they don't really want people peeking into out there in the West, and how they get down.
Right.
So they have a Dwayne Wade that's still a part of their organization. He's the front guy. It don't really matter. They've never been that. They've let stars come and go, and they always be gonna stick to the draft.
Right. No doubt.
Yeah, you're right about that. Dwayne is that's the front guy. Matter of fact, everybody wearing all white that day. So all white.
Absolutely.
And be honest, Donovan might not even get picked for the daggone All-Star game. The way the league is shaping up right here, right now, and it depends on who's making the picks. You know what I'm saying? You might have somebody like Steph Curry. If he's picking, he might go ahead and grab Donovan because he's a respectful type guy. Remember, like LeBron didn't even want to pick down one of them two guys last time. He didn't pick Donovan all through. You know what I'm saying? And he could have, but he was like on some personal stuff. But yeah, Dwayne Wade is the front runner. You know what I'm saying? He's the one he's going to be the P. Diddy of that weekend.
Right. So if you're the Knicks and you know that these guys are on the market, you want to build the right way, so to speak. You know that you are one or two major pieces away. Let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, that the Knicks are two pieces away, right? We're going to leave because my personal, and y'all can quote me on this one, right? Or y'all can't quote me on this one. This is my personal feeling. I think the Knicks are one star away, but I also think there is a star on the roster that's going to emerge and become that player this season. But it's too early in the process for me to say who that player is. So I'm not going to say who that player is yet because I don't want it to be on record. But I do want to be on record saying I do believe a star is on the roster. And it's not who you think. Right? But I do also think we are one star away. Like Brunson, that one star, the guy on the roster, RJ Randall, I think is what we have. Right? So with that said, if you're thinking that we are one star away from being an Eastern Conference contender, why not go get that guy right now? Why kick the can down the road? Why keep waiting? Right? Why let your groceries go bad, so to speak, waiting on the perfect day? Right? And I always equate it to the pretty girl analogy. Like you get dressed up every day to holler at the pretty girl and the timing is never right. But all of a sudden, she got a flat tire in the parking lot and she need help and you there, but you got on your work clothes, right? And you smell like diesel fuel. You know what I'm saying? Are you not going to holler in that perfect moment because you don't feel right? Or are you going to take your shot right then, even if you feel uncomfortable in that circumstance? She right there. She can't go nowhere. She right there. She can't go nowhere. You standing there talking to her. Why not shoot your shot then, as opposed to waiting to see her at the work party and you got on your fresh linen suit, but the work party is not for another 6 months, right? And you want to holler at her at the Christmas party. Guess what? Everybody gonna try to holler at her at the Christmas party.
Church.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So she in the parking lot with the flat tire. She can't go nowhere. She needs your help. Y'all talking. Y'all right there. You uncomfortable because you got on your work uniform with your name on it. The name tag, Freezy. You know what I'm saying? You smell like diesel fuel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You uncomfortable because you're not dressed up and fly. But why wait for the perfect moment when that perfect moment may never come? Or when the perfect moment comes for you, it may also be the perfect moment for the Miami Heat, right? For the Boston Celtics, for the emerging players like the Detroit Pistons. All of a sudden, you didn't account for the Pistons because for the past 3 seasons they've been trash, right? But now all of a sudden, the Detroit Pistons is your little brother. You know what I'm saying? You used to change his diapers when you was in elementary school. Now that you come back home from college in the service, he the man in high school. You know what I'm saying? That's who the Pistons are to us. You know what I'm saying? He was a little brother. Now all of a sudden, he more popular than you was at the same age. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm getting at is if you're the Knicks, do you step out on that limb and shoot your shot for Donovan Mitchell, or do you wait for the time to be right for everybody? Right? Do you wait for the timing to be right for the Brooklyn Nets? Do you wait for the timing to be right for the Boston Celtics? Do you wait for the timing to be right for the Miami Heat and then try to compete with them, driving up the price? Because Brooklyn is going to be a player. Brooklyn is going to be. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just going to say, like, you got to look at teams too, like the Houston Rockets and OKC that have a bunch of picks like us. At some point over the next 2 to 3 years, Sam Presti has to unload picks. And he's going to go star hunting with them picks and them young players he has. So whatever we could be waiting for, in 2 or 3 years, Sam Presti might be sitting here thinking the same thing. And he's going to have the same assets, maybe more. Because the thing is, too, is he's going to be tanking for another year or two. So he's going to have even better young talent than we are, plus the picks.
Yep.
So you can't wait. You can't, like, we've been talking about D. Mitchell for 2 years with this team, the connections, the everything. This is the guy we're loading up for. Now it's here. Now it's come. You can't. If it's too much, I get it, because it's going to be a haul. You don't want to completely burn the roster. But at the same time, you got to make an effort, and you got to make a push, and at least offer all these picks we have. You can go and offer him 7 first-round picks, 4 or 5 of them unprotected if you want. But just you need to consider trying to make the push, because My fear is if they go and not make a push for Mitchell and he goes somewhere else, that they're never going to make a push because then these picks at some point over the next year are going to start expiring.
Right. Right.
What happens next
you're
year if three of the 4 picks convey next year in the draft and nobody's available and you can't move them? You have to you have to take them picks or move up in the draft. Therefore, them picks are gone already. You can't use it then in a trade unless they keep kicking the can down the road. But like what they've been doing, like with the 11 pick, I get it. You got some future picks to make a move, but you do keep doing that. You're declining assets. You're less value in all these assets. You turn them from lottery picks into a bunch of picks in the 20s.
Right.
This isn't the NFL where you trade back and load up on second round picks or future picks to make the team roster better.
Right.
The NFL, you do that. It's quantity. It's quantity over quality most of the time. If you have a bunch of good players over stars, you're going to win. NBA is not like that. You need star talent to win. A bunch of good players isn't going to win. It very seldom wins. Very seldom unless you have the right team and the right chemistry.
Right.
Right coach, right everything.
Okay. I feel you. Because in the NFL, units can win you games. For instance, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, right? And there was a time in Chicago Bears history where the offense and the defense just wanted you to get to a place where you had to kick the ball to us. And I know this sounds weird, right? Our offense couldn't score. Our defense scored a lot on fumbles. The Peanut Tillman era is what I'm referencing, where we would allow you to throw the football and we would gang tackle and strip your receiver. Giants fans, Jets fans, y'all know this. If you're a Jets fan, you know this because we played the Jets and we allowed them to catch the football and strip their receivers and ran two fumbles back for a touchdown to beat the Jets. And our offense didn't do anything. Right?
You guys made the Super Bowl that season too, right? Just alone on defense.
Just defense and special teams, right? Units can win you games in the NFL. Your defensive unit, your special teams. The Giants fans, y'all know this. Yeah, the Giants fans lost to a team called the Philadelphia Eagles, where all they had to do was punt the football out of bounds, but they didn't. They punted the ball to a guy named Deshaun Jackson, right? All they had to do was tackle him, get him on the ground, and they couldn't. And they messed around and lost the game, and that punter was cut and never played in the NFL again.
And previous to Deshaun, they used to punt it to who was the little running back that Philly used to have for a hot second. He used to do it. He used to do it to the Giants right around that same time too.
Brian Westbrook.
Absolutely. Brian Westbrook. Yes. He used to do it to the Giants. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We beat the Giants. There was a play. Eli Manning was under pressure. He kept throwing to a dude named Jeremy Shockey. And I know Giants fans don't remember Shockey because they've had a bunch of tight ends since then. But they would throw the football to Jeremy Shockey, and he would mow over our safeties, right? Big, strong, fast kid. But his drawback was he was cocky, right? So the Bears let him catch it. He run up the field. He run over our corner. We strip him. We get the football back, run it back for a touchdown. From there, the Bears win the game. Right? You can't do that in the NBA. To Joe's point, units don't win games. Right? Units don't win. Eddie C, what's good? Units don't win games. Stars win games in the NBA. Eddie C, what's good, bro? Can you hear me?
Good, man. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So the point that I'm getting at is now might be the time for the Leon Rose regime to make a major play, but I'm not forcing them to make a major play. If they take their time, I'm okay with it. But you have to embrace stardom. You have to go get a star, right? Because
who would be Freezy? Who would be then if you let Donovan Mitchell get away? Who would be the next star on the horizon? All of these guys are already signing their big deals. It's not easy to trade for them once they've signed these multi. Everyone that we could think of either signed during last season or has been signing over this last couple of days.
Yep, signing today. Right. No, I get that part. I get that part. AD, what I'm saying is when I say if you don't get them, I don't mean you stop the search. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
that's my point is you've extended the search.
Right.
Now the search, instead of the search taking you within this weekend to the next 3 months, 4 months, now it's back another year into another year and a half.
Right.
Because these contracts are all contracts are brand new. My point is you can't let one of these you come away out of these next however a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, and one of these guys is not on your roster with Brunson.
But why is that a bad thing? Like what's the rush to get him in the next 2 weeks? Because obviously the league has incentivized these players not leaving, right? This ain't the LeBron years where.
Hey, hold on for a second, man. I see you.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, not you, Eddie. Go ahead. I got somebody backstage. I just wanted to let them know that they'll see him.
All right. So, they have incentivized these players that if you want to stay with your team and you want to get paid the max amount of money that you're allowed to get paid, and remember, this is what it's all about, right? This is a business. They're professional sports athletes. The best thing for you to stay with the team that either drafted you or the team that traded for you. So it's going to be very, very hard and traded for you. And I say back when that rule wasn't in place, it's going to be very hard for you to get Zion Williamson. It's going to be very hard for you to get Devin Booker. It's going to be very hard for you to get these players. So my thing is, I like Donovan Mitchell, but the more I think about it, we have to give up. So it's really it's not even overpaying when it comes to salary cap money. It's overpaying when it comes to your assets, and I think that's a little bit different. There's a difference there. So what I'm thinking now is that these guys are actually waiting for the right draft pick to come along and take that player and bring them up in a rookie deal and make it your own instead of having to go and get somebody else's guy.
Okay. Hey, let me do this real quick, Eddie C. Hey, what's up, boss?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Chilling, man. Coming from upstate New York, Rochester, New York, man. Big Knicks fan. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Just had a couple questions. A lot of people underestimating.
Hey, hold on, before we get to the questions, man. Tell everybody who you are and shout out to the chat, man. You know the protocol.
First of all, hit the likes, man. Hit the likes. You know what I'm saying? Been in the chat for a minute. I've been asking. I finally got the link today when you send it. So, like I said, my name's Shotgunner from Rochester, New York. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like I said,
good
big
to have you
fan.
here, man. Good to have you here, man. This is the first time, right?
Yeah, first time. Yeah, big fan. Yeah, I watch the show often, man. Like I say, hit the likes, man. Hit the likes. We need more likes, man.
Y'all welcome. Y'all welcome my man. Show some love. Chat. Show some love. Put some fire in the chat in the virtual chat, man. Show some love. Y'all know how we do it.
Where you from in upstate New York, bro?
Huh?
Where you from in upstate New York?
Rochester.
All right.
Yeah, Buffalo, Syracuse. Yeah.
I used to live around Middletown when I was younger.
Is that
for real?
Near Monticello?
What you say, bro?
Is that anywhere like near Monticello?
You said Monticello.
Monticello, upstate New York.
Monticello, the racetrack.
Nah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Bro, okay, yeah. I don't go there often, or you know what I'm saying, but I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, like I want to get into, man, a lot of us Knicks fans is underestimating. Like I said, first of all, I've been hearing y'all about the Brunson. I don't think that was a good signing. At the end of the day, quick question for the panel. Is Brunson better than Fred VanVleet? Because Fred VanVleet got a championship and he made an All-Star team.
But I ain't got no arguments with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, you getting paid $100 million and more money than an All-Star and a guy that got a championship. Okay, cool. Then, first of all, this is clearly Leon Rose, Rick Brunson extortion. I don't know why I don't see that. Rick Brunson is clearly extorting the Knicks. I don't know why. Like, he just got a job for no reason, and then he get his son $100 million. This don't make no basketball sense at all. At the end of the day, I feel Brunson is challenging RJ. I think he's going to be the ego. His ego is really I think this signing is about his ego. I think he better than RJ, and he coming here to be a star. He don't want to come here. Everybody can say, "Oh, we finally got a point guard." We need a point guard that can distribute the ball, not a point guard that can score. He was the second best scorer to Luka. Him, a defense that's going to game plan. You think Eric Spoelstra is? You think Eric Spoelstra or the Boston Celtics is scared of the signing? Like, they are laughing at us. We are a joke. All they're gonna do is trap this young man. I'm telling you, bro. Our game plan is gonna be as soon as he get past half court, trap his little ass. That's what I would do. Excuse my language. That's what we do, because that's not working last year, because he worked hard for that contract. Don't get me wrong, but he gonna get exposed. You know what I'm saying? First of all, how's he any different from Kimba? Okay, don't get me wrong. Kimba got ankle injuries, but he never really even got the shot. And that was Kimba's first time in a role where he had to be a distributor. And one more thing I gotta say, I think like a lot of people don't want to give up RJ for Spider, but for what? The Knicks not even about to give him the super max. Do anybody agree with me? I'm taking SGA over RJ. I'm taking Darius Garland over RJ. I'm taking Ja Morant over RJ. I'm taking Luka over RJ. I'm taking Scotty Barnes over RJ. It's a lot of players that's better than RJ. I don't get why. It's just us Knicks fans. We got to get out of this delusion. I get we drafted him. I get it. We did it. But Duke didn't even win the championship. We want Zion for what? They didn't even win the championship. What is we talk? We just be talking sometimes. We don't be making for Zion. Zion, Cam, and RJ's was on Duke. And what did they win? What? Exactly. So we just be talking.
Don't forget Trey Jones. They had Trey Jones also.
That's even worse. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying?
But Rochester, what did the guys that you just mentioned win? They didn't win anything in college either.
You said what the guy? Hold on.
SBA, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm taking those guys over RJ. You said what college did they go to? Hold on, I had to close the door because what
did they win?
No, he said what did they win?
No, okay, no, they didn't win anything. They didn't win. I didn't say they win anything. I'm just judging off of potential. At the end of the day, SGA got a max. So his team proved that he got a max. RJ been on the team, and we're not giving him. We're already in discussions of paying him 15 to 30 million. We're even not trying to even hear a max player, because that's my thing that everybody's underestimating. We was in that Atlanta series. Everybody focused on Julius Rose. Where was our star at? We had to rely on Derrick Rose. RJ, you can say he was young. He can say he was all that. But some players got it. Scotty Barnes did great against Philly. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. A rookie, and he still is a rookie. Like I said, his potential as far as defense, he's good. But I'm sorry, man. I'm giving RJ, I'm giving 3 picks, and I'm giving for Spider. Because Spider's a superstar, no matter what nobody say. At the end of the day, the Jazz have never, ever been out of the playoffs in the West since he got drafted as a rookie. That's just my point. And I don't mean to yell, but I don't get why people don't understand this. This is so weird to me. Donovan Mitchell in the West have been winning. Oh, bounce out of the first round. He made the playoffs since a rookie. Everybody's quiet because I'm right. And that's just the thing that just frustrates me, Knicks fans. We got to calm down.
No, we quiet because we're letting you rock. We quiet because we're letting you rock.
My fault.
Yeah,
trust me, the honeymoon will be over.
I like the debate. Yeah, I like the debate, so I want to be quiet. Anybody disagree with me?
Get some, baby.
Anybody disagree with me so far?
No. What I would say is what you said is intriguing in that it's a different perspective than we had already been hearing. But that's what you said, though. You know what I'm saying? You were like, yo, this is different from what people had been saying, and you don't understand why people are embracing, you know what I'm saying, the RJ Barretts and the other players that have not been productive over the course of their career. So I understand where you're coming from there, right?
Right.
My only deal is what does Utah want?
Oh, Utah, it looked like they want picks.
Yeah.
It looked like they want picks.
Yeah, so if Utah wants something different than what we are looking to offer, then we got to continue to negotiate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me do this. So Paris Duggar, thank you just real quick for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar I say Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, and Donovan Mitchell next year. I feel you on that, Paris Duggar, but what are those other teams going to
up? Then I think Butler's on a map. Butler's making like $55 million next year. He's big hit, and then for his age too, it doesn't really fit. And then Booker re-up, so you're looking at 3 or 4 years before you even getting Booker anywhere near out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Nah, Booker not leaving the Suns, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Monty Williams is a great coach. You know what I'm saying? Like this again, we don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes with Knicks fans, you got no disrespect to any woman, but you got to treat them like a woman. Strip them from their emotions and make them deal with reality. That's not reality. Reality is that he's the number 1 seed in the West. Why would he want to come here? Why would he want to be under James Dolan? Why? Like, why? Nobody makes sense. Like, again, we have to stop getting so hyped, Knicks fans. We have to stop dealing with our emotions and focus on reality. The reality is we are looking like a play-in team. Like we're not. I am frustrated because I don't get the highway robbery. I don't get what Rick Brunson did. Like, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hating. Get your money. But bro, he is worth $85 million a year, not $100 million. I'm sorry. A guy that's 26, 4 years away from 30, never ever been an all-star. Do you think he's gonna be an all-star over Marcus Smart or over a guy like, you know what I'm saying? And like, even Tyrese Maxey, he's not even better than Tyrese Maxey. Like, oh my God, like we need guys, man. Oh my God, like that's why I get so frustrated because we are dig in a hole. We got robbed. A highway gunpoint robbery. We got robbed for nothing. And at the end of the day, what Knicks fans is underestimating. Do y'all go to Spider Instagram? I go there often every day. IQ is with him every single day. Emmanuel Quickly. That has to be an insult to him, man. That is a big recruit. Why ain't nobody looking? We just so focused on Jalen Brunson. Ain't nobody looking at. And then he has on IQ has on his Instagram starting point guard. He New York Knicks point guard. He wants to be the point guard. He's in the gym with Spider, but no, they cleared that. If I'm IQ, I want out. What more you want me to do, bro? I'm with a top tier superstar. You got some guy that want to leave. At the end of the day, Brunson's gonna regret this, no matter what he say. Leaving Luka is retarded. I don't care what he think. I think that's why it has to be an ego thing. I think he's on the same level. I really think that.
Okay. So I'm gonna speak to your point real quick, right? And I ain't gonna speak to it with emotions and such. I'm gonna speak to it with data. Right?
All right.
Right. I'm just speak to it with data, and then we just chop it up about whatever. Hey, who's Mark? I put the link in the chat, man. Come on through. Who's Mark, man? It's a Saturday afternoon. Man, come on through, who's Mark, so we can, you know what I'm saying, chop it up. What I'm going to say to you is this. It is something that I mentioned previously, but I think it got washed away because of transactions and things that were going on. The Knicks are a heavy pick and roll team. The misnomer is that the Knicks are a heavy ISO team, right? The Knicks are not a heavy ISO team. The Knicks are a heavy pick and roll team, right? But even though we pick and roll teams to death, we were not efficient, right? We were not efficient in the pick and roll. We don't score that much, even though we hold the ball a lot in the pick and roll. And we pick and roll, we run the pick and roll. The shot's not there. We back out, call Mitch for a screen. We get back in the pick and roll, try to get something else. All in 24 seconds, right? Jalen Brunson is a pick and roll point guard. He's in the 90th percentile of pick and roll attempts in the NBA over the last couple seasons, right?
Right.
And so what happened is you have a pick and roll player and a pick and roll offense that kind of need each other, right? And so while we don't necessarily need Jalen Brunson, like we don't need the name of the player, we need that player type, right? But like we didn't need Jalen Brunson per se, but we needed a player like Jalen Brunson. But Jalen Brunson was the guy that was available at the time, right?
I disagree. I'm gonna let you go, but I disagree.
Right. But okay. So you're gonna
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go finish it because you on the roll.
Yeah, you're gonna disagree, but you're gonna be wrong, bro. The thing is,
I'm listening. You giving me facts, so I'm listening.
The data says you do it a lot, but you're not good at it, right?
Right.
And then the data also says that this dude does it a lot, and he's good at it, right? So while what we paid may not be the most appealing thing, the fact is the two sides needed each other. Because I agree with the money. The money, I'm like, what? What did you pay him?
But we made it feasible for he want to sign a contract.
Right, but you had to pay for that in order for him to leave the place where he was at. Yeah.
Right.
That's where I disagree at. Once you signed his father, that was clearly tampering. Where tampering was in, and we all know you can't be stupid. We all know once Nick signed his father as a assistant, it was a done deal. So of course that's why we're going to get tampering charges. For one, that's what we underline. For two, understand what you're saying about the playoff statistics. I'm not going to argue with numbers because numbers are fact. But at the end of the day, the season is where you make your name, and the playoffs is where you make your game. You did not mention what the Warriors did to him in the playoff setting that we just seen literally this year. First of all, when he was in the Warriors situation, they trapped him every time. They trapped him because he's too little. First of all that pounding and backing he was doing against Utah, it was against Utah. I mean, at the end of the day. So I don't, that's why it's frustrating. It's like, okay, I wanted to see him against some comp. Now against the Suns, don't get me wrong, they did a lot of things, but against the Pelicans, the Suns got exposed. So I'm not giving them that much credit because CJ McCullough and them almost took the Suns out. So at the end of the day, I'm not giving them that much credit. So anyways, at the end of the day,
let's start with what you said. So let's start with what you said. You said the Golden State Warriors, right?
Yes.
All right. So did you say the Golden State Warriors have multiple elite defenders?
No, I never said. I said they trapped him. I never said that.
I'm asking you right now. Would you say now, in front of everybody, that the Golden State Warriors have multiple elite defenders?
I will never ever say that. Nope, I will never say that. Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green is their best defenders.
So okay.
Hold on.
Wait. So, hold on. Let me ask him.
That was the situation.
So you wouldn't say that Klay Thompson is not an elite defender, or Gary Payton?
Not ever since his injury, he kind of fell off a little bit. Have to give him that.
Did you see him play for Boston, bro? Wait, Golden State is a top 5 defense every year when they're healthy. Top 5 every year. They've never been out of the top 10 through this 10-year run. That is an elite defensive team. They might look small, but the way they plan out on teams. They destroy teams defensively. Why do you think they get back to the game? Why do you think they get back to the game? Because most of the games, their opponent be up, but they get back into games. Their defense is elite. A lot of people don't realize that because they're shooting so dynamic. People think that their defense is not good. Their defense is elite. Elite.
And they shut Brunson down.
And
is what we're talking about.
I don't get. That's all I'm talking. See, that's why I'm confused. Like you're giving me mad. Now I want to stick on Jalen Brunson.
But that's what I'm getting to.
That's what I'm saying. Like we could talk about that too, but I want to stick on the point possibility of Jalen Brunson pick and roll. Like you said, we sticking on topic. I was just sticking on topic. What you said. You said his pick and roll is
under the system he was in.
Right. But my point is the numbers that I gave you were regular season numbers. The Knicks stats that I gave you were the regular season stats from the 2022 season. Right. Nothing in the postseason. And the thing that I mentioned about Brunson was his regular season numbers, right? Over the past 2 seasons played. Well, what I'm getting at is I want to throw away the entire playoff, all the good stuff that Jalen Brunson did in the playoffs, and all the bad stuff he did in the playoffs. I want to take all of that and throw it out the window because it don't matter. Because
and remember, he's not a veteran player. Remember, he was probably still a second-year player, rookie player, going.
He's on a second contract.
What I was gonna say before Chop chopped me up was Jalen Brunson, right? Okay, I just lost.
Freeze, hold on.
No, you were saying that Jalen Brunson. This is the regular season numbers You wanted to take away the playoff numbers, and that's where you were going at. You wanted to go somewhere through there.
Yeah, yeah.
And meanwhile, you got to look at them numbers too, as him playing off ball. He played beside Luka with a 37% usage. You think them numbers and all go up and get more efficient when he has the ball in his hands more. And what I'm saying is his efficiency off ball too works with RJ. So it's not that he's ball dominant. He can do both.
All right, I want to get back to the point about the Warriors defense because I don't know who's at the bottom, but like I was a big fan of you too. Like you speak a lot of knowledge, but I want to talk to you. Okay, first of all, since you're a big BBA fan, was the what seed was the Warriors this year?
The Warriors is the third seed. The third seed, bro.
So did you had the Suns when you had the before the season started?
I had the Warriors winning the whole thing. I'm a Warriors. I'm a Steph Curry fan. So
well, I can't confirm or deny that. I can't confirm or deny that. But statistically, we will have a 60+ winning team as the favorite in the finals, right? As a basketball person, right? Right. So you say that now. It's easy to say that they won the championship.
No. Even when you watch the Suns go against Golden State, bro, I was still more along with Golden State.
I can't confirm or deny that because I wasn't around. So I don't feel like I wouldn't disrespect you and say that's irrelevant. But like, that's your truth.
If you were to tell me that the Suns was better than Golden State, I would tell you no. Because it's more to Golden State and what they do that makes them far superior than any team in the NBA. This is why they beat guys, because when people go in, they go in, what are the Warriors going to do to this player, this team? And they always end up either destroying the team or outplaying the team. Golden State offense, there's no team in the league that plays like them or has different intricacies to their game to any other team. Phoenix is very easy to figure. Phoenix is easy to figure out. Once you take pick and roll, Phoenix pick and roll coverage, the Chris Paul thing, you can beat them anytime. And that's what Dallas did. They took away Chris Paul and it destroyed Phoenix offense because they can't do nothing else without Chris Paul pick and roll. Period.
Right. And Devin Booker does a pass. But just real quick, let me read these super chats real quick. Hey, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, Booker is going to get fed up with losing soon. And Paris Duggar also says, is this a Richard Price skit? Dude, you are not pimping us. And Paris Duggar, that's not what he was trying to do, Paris. What he was saying, he just brought up a point where he don't know if Jalen Brunson may be a fit. That's all. And there's a lot of people with the same opinion. They don't know if Brunson.
That's not really my argument. I just think he's overpaid. Like I said, I think he's overpaid.
You're right about that too. You're right.
And you never, and he the first person in history to get $1 million contract probably without being an all-star. That is insane. That is high rate robbery. That would never make sense. I'm sorry, y'all, the pick and roll, all that. But to the peers in the league, to his peers, and to the people that he's been around since Villanova, he has never, ever been an all-star, and he's got $100 million contract. Name one player or players that do that. Like, that don't make sense. Like, he hasn't won anything. That's why I'm leaning back on the Rick Brunson, Leon Rose relationship. When the high robbery, it's not a basketball decision. Duh, this is clearly because they gave him outbid Jalen Brunson. That's why everybody is laughing. That's why I go back to the Eric Spoelstra and Boston defense. Do you think pick and roll, no matter what we do, do you think I just want to stick on playoffs and adjustments? Eric Spoelstra will shut that down. Everybody, like, that's not scaring nobody. That's all I'm saying. That's not scary.
Yo, bro, what's your name? What's your name?
Shotgunner.
Look, I understand everything you say about Brunson. I'm not with the $100 million Brunson. The only reason why I don't like Brunson for this team is because he had a safety valve, which was Luka Doncic.
Exactly. So, why would you leave that basketball wise?
It is so different when he's coming from Luka to play with Randall. Randall don't do the safety valve things for Brunson game to elevate. The reason why he looks so good because in the pick and roll coverage, they players dive to the basket. Randall does neither of that. He does neither of that.
All I want to say to you guys is how did Jalen Brunson look when Luka was injured?
Against the Jazz. Against the Jazz.
It don't matter. It could be against anybody.
Against the Jazz. A team that was on.
Eddie, how did Randall look last year compared to the year before?
That's what I don't understand. I don't get points like that. Thank you.
He looked great.
Like, that don't make any sense.
He looked great.
No, he doesn't look. No, he didn't. His catch and shoot went off. He went down. Like that's the point
No,
you make. And people,
he asked me. Hold on a second, bro. He asked me how did Randall look the year before.
no, I didn't ask you that.
I didn't say that.
Well,
I said how
Mark,
did he look last year compared to his All-Star year? The year that
how did he look last year? He did. It looked like something was up.
Right.
It looked like something mentally was up with him.
Elaborate. Like, what do you mean?
So here's the elaboration on that.
Because I hate people that make statements and don't make sense.
Hold on.
My fault,
bro.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I make ton of sense all the time, baby.
Last year's backcourt.
Ain't nobody trying to argue
was
with you, brother.
atrocious. Yeah, last year's backcourt was atrocious. So okay. Hey, y'all, listen. So we gonna let one another speak, man. We're gonna go one at a time. If not, then I'm gonna have to clear the chat, man, and just do y'all one at a time.
All right, no doubt.
Or just chill out, man. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be here for a while. We gonna
listen. I respect all black men. My fault, bro. Like, if anybody feels some type of way, bro, I'm not into the black man beefing with each other type crap.
No,
like,
you're not beefing.
Right, but that's not what we're saying. All I'm saying is just wait your turn.
No, I'm just going to let you know I respect your platform.
I get it, and we want to hear you, But for the presentation aspect of it, when you got 3 or 4 people talking at one time with people watching, like we got about 250 people watching, and when multiple people talking at once, it just sounds like trash coming through the speaker.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at. So that's in respect to everybody that has something smart to say. We can't hear the smart takes because it's multiple people talking at once. That's all. But what I wanted to say though, to the Julius Randle thing of this season that just passed, the Knicks had a historically bad backcourt, right? Historically bad backcourt offensively, right? The Knicks were 30th in assists. That's a stat from NBA.com. 30th in assists. And to make that thing worse, the Knicks shot 40% or below from everybody in the backcourt, right? Except for Derrick Rose, who only played in 26 games. Everybody else was 40% right at or below. And then to say, well, how did Julius Randle look? Is not fair in the respect that Randle is one player on one unit in the front court, right? But we don't mention how the backcourt looked. And so we're asking Julius Randle to shoulder all the blame for the entire team when the backcourt was atrocious. Now, if you want to say something like, if we want to get into would this team have been better if such and such? Let's look at, would this team have been better if the Knicks had a guard like De'Aaron Fox in it? Then what would the backcourt have looked like? What if this Knicks backcourt had a CJ McCollum in it? What if this Knicks backcourt had a Tyler Hero in it? Would the offense have been balanced enough for RJ Barrett and Julius Randle to shine like the season that they did before? I'm not going to say yes or no. All I'm going to say is don't blame Randle or Tibbs for a lot of the stuff that you saw when we know the backcourt was historically terrible. The first two things the Knicks front office did this offseason was, one, they hurry up and got Kemba Walker out of town. Hurry up. That's the first thing they did. Kemba Walker got to go. They hurry. Matter of fact, they attached assets to him to get him out of here. Right? And then their major move was to upgrade the backcourt. That is a sign to you as a Knicks fan that the Knicks acknowledged that this backcourt was terrible and knew it during the season. They knew it during the season that this backcourt was terrible and it needed a major overhaul. Right? And so while Jalen Brunson isn't an overpay, in my opinion, it's a major overpay. But I can at least understand where Julius Randle, Tom Thibodeau, and his Knicks front office is going. All right, I'm listening. It's a lot of people on the screen. I'm gonna be in the producer spot, right? All I'm asking is when y'all chop it up, just go one at a time.
So I'm just gonna give you guys Jalen Brunson's numbers without Luka Doncic. The safety.
How many games was that? Wait, how many?
17 games.
How many?
17.
17?
Yeah. 17.4
I think it was more than that because Luka was hurt during the regular season too.
Right.
Luka was out for about 20 games during the regular season, and then
are you talking about total games?
This is total games. This is
Wait,
total games.
So hold on. So Tyrus
Not playoffs,
Jones,
I believe.
So we should have went for Tyrus Jones too, because without Ja on the floor, he averaged about 20-some points.
I'm not looking at Tyus Jones. If you want to look up Tyus Jones, you can look up Tyus Jones. I just looked up Jalen Brunson, and his numbers are 20.4 points per game, 7.5 assists per game, and 3.9 rebounds a game. That's pretty good numbers to me.
Okay. Do me a favor, Eddie. Go look up Tyrus Jones. And
Nah. You do your homework. I ain't gonna do your homework.
Hold on.
Tyrus Jones is not a Knick.
Because for you to judge a player because a player was out 17 games, to think that he's going to come here and do what he did for that team, to do it here when we don't have the right pieces to surround Brunson. That Dallas team was top in defense again. We're not a good defensive team. We don't have a safety valve of a player to rely on so Brunson could do his work, so he could be impactful.
RJ is not that.
But that's why RJ Barrett needs to take a step. That's why I'm considering you have to wait on paying him, because you need to see if he's going to be worth it. And this year is going to tell the tale. Is RJ going to make that step? And that's why I think this move is kind of towards, it's like, look, RJ, we got you a point guard. Now you need to take a step.
See, that's my problem. Look how much stuff he need. You need a point guard. You need the right coach. You need the right thing to succeed. Like you don't need all that in life. And I respect you.
Got the right coach. He's never had the right coach. Thibodeau's not even the right coach for him, I don't think.
Tim coached the MVP, Derrick Rose. He had the top defense, and he won a championship with the Boston Celtics. So he has nothing to prove. What are you talking about?
He has nothing to prove, bro.
Nothing, bro. He won a championship.
How many chips has Tom Thibodeau won?
He won with KG.
After 3 years with an organization, they plummet.
He won. He was the reason Boston Celtics won that defense. That Boston Celtics defense. I don't know how old everybody is, but that Boston Celtics defense is the reason Tom Thibodeau is behind that, and he won a championship in 2008 behind that. He has nothing to prove.
Are we talking about Brunson's value or Tom Thibodeau's attributes? I'm confused.
No, he brought up that I'm responding to the Tim Thibodeau. He said he didn't have the right coach. Tibbs is a proven coach. That's all I was trying to elaborate. That Tibbs is a proven coach.
Can I ask who's Mark a question on the topic?
Go ahead, Ghetto. Go ahead, Ghetto.
So you said, Mark, that we don't have the right pieces, so we shouldn't get a Brunson.
We shouldn't overpay for Brunson. That's what I'm saying.
No. You said, well.
No, I said we should not overpay for Brunson.
Okay, so who should we? So do you agree that the Knicks have to overpay? Do you agree?
No,
we didn't have to pay.
I'm not saying for Brunson. I'm not saying for Brunson.
Okay, the market dictates what the player gets.
Everybody's
there was no other team in the league that was big.
Thank you,
Brunson.
Exactly, bro. The Kings have money. The Sacramento Kings have money. They didn't even care.
So,
bro, that's not.
And who else wanted to come here? Who else wanted to come here?
Why you guys feel the need to yell? The yell is not necessary. The yell is not necessary.
Please.
Here is my question, Mark. But you can't answer the question yelling. I'm asking you a question. We're having a conversation. We're having a conversation. Can we have a conversation?
It's a debate, man. Debates get hostile sometimes. I don't think he meant harm, but go ahead.
But how y'all gonna answer the question if you don't let me ask it? Because y'all started yelling, everybody's overpaying in this market. Tell me who didn't overpay to get the player they wanted. They had to give up multiple draft.
Facts.
Let me finish.
Who? Name them.
Somebody just got. They already have a
Who is somebody? I need a name.
Let me finish, my man.
You said somebody. You started off your sentence with someone.
My guy. You have to control your temper.
I'm not mad. Stop judging off of a moment. I didn't use profanity, bro. That's you judging.
Yelling at each other. What if we all just started yelling? What would we have?
It's a debate. You're the one yelling now. I didn't scream.
Because you're not.
No, you're yelling.
Yo, Ghetto, just
you're
Let him finish, man.
Don't yell.
Yeah, bro. That's why I'm confused.
Hey, hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. This is the thing that I was talking about, man. Like the
I'm not yelling.
Hey, hold on for a split second, John.
I'm sorry.
Just hold on for a split second. Just a split second. This was the thing I'm talking about. Listen, man. If y'all not gonna be quiet and let somebody talk, I'm gonna move you backstage and do y'all one at a time. That's just what it is. And then if you can't control like the thing, then I'm gonna just boot you out the chat. That's just as plain as I can make it. I said like 2 times already before we even got here. Just allow somebody to get their thing off, let them finish, and then because we're not going nowhere. We got like another 2 hours strong.
We ain't going nowhere because I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I want to dog walk you on who is marking. I got to take my time to do it. So,
So
let me finish, guys. So I have the floor.
Yeah, is legit.
I have the
floor.
So Karl Anthony Towns is one of the top centers in the NBA. They just gave up their whole future to add Gobert with him. They overpaid. Everybody's overpaying in this market. But here's the difference.
Yo, that was terrible. That was terrible.
You guys, listen, that's not how debate is, guys. Let me land my plane, and then you guys can take it. We can only have one mic in this space.
Yeah, man.
So what happens is they overpaid in their future. All we did was clear out some players that we didn't want, give Brunson that money. We didn't have to waste future draft picks or salary cap to get him. I got to be honest. I need y'all to elaborate. What did we overpay? I'm shutting up.
Okay, Ghetto, you do this thing where you trying to look like the smartest guy in the room because we
That's corny. That's corny.
Yeah, no, you cutting her off. Now you cutting her off. Yeah, now you cutting her off.
Hold on.
I don't like people like that, bro. I don't like people like that.
One at a time.
I don't like people like that. I'm about to like every time she talk, you want to cut her off. But when we talk, one mic.
We gave up the 11 pick to get Brunson to get rid of contract that they should have never paid for last year. That was number one. That was wrong. That was wrong by the organization. They get no points from that. The reason why they paid to get Gobert is because they have an all elite.
No. Don't move to Gobert. Stay right there. I want to respond to that. Stay right there.
No, I'm not done.
Yo, you cutting her off.
Yeah,
bro, you weirdo.
By the way, it's a man. It's not a girl. It's a man. It's a man, not a girl. That's
man. I'm not an anonymous person. I show my face. I ain't insecure, so I don't know who's who. So I don't disrespect.
The reason why they can overpay for Gobert is because they have Karl Anthony Towns, which is a 2010, a consistent level player who I can rely on every night.
I'm not insecure.
2010. They have Anthony Edwards. They are a playoff contending team. So for you to bring in another player to help your team to get better, that's better. Gobert's going to help their defense. That's why they got Gobert.
Are they a championship contender now?
No.
Oh my God!
They're a playoff. We a playoff team. You saying we a playoff team?
I'm talking about the Timberwolves,
hey,
bro.
And now, hey, Keyshawn, let who's Mark finish? Go ahead, who's Mark?
They got better because they was lacking on defense, and it showed you in the playoff. They got a guy who can defend for them. So for them to pay because they already have all-star level guys, that's acceptable. But when you overpay for when we don't even have a top 50, what is Randall?
There it is right there. There it is right there.
Hey, hold on.
Get him.
It's just the name.
Is Randall someone you can rely on a night-to-night basis?
Yes. Hey, Bismarck, my question.
Gobert?
Hey, I want to respond to that. Before he go, I want to respond to that. Hey, Bismarck.
Go ahead, bro.
You right about everything you say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, that was the whole thing I'm trying to say. Like, basically, like, Gobert, everybody, first of all, Cat is about to be used for trading debate. A lot of people don't understand that the T-Wolves tried to send Cat to the Brooklyn for KD. So he's clearly bait. Why you think they gave up all them picks? Cat will be gone by the trade deadline because him at the 4, that ain't gonna work. I mean, at the end of the day, all you gotta do is play small ball to beat them. But basically, my whole point that I keep sticking to is just the whole Jalen Brunson thing. Like, that's what I want to talk about. And you know what I'm saying? That was my whole thing. Do people know that IQ, Emmanuel Quickley, and Spider are working out together right now, going out on basketball camps? I haven't heard nobody brought that up. That is a big recruit.
What does that have to do?
That's not recruiting somebody.
NBA players hang out with each other all the time.
That's irrelevant.
When did Emmanuel Quickley, third year in the league? This Emmanuel Quickley, third year in the league. Him and Spider are best friends. No, that's impossible, bro. That's clearly a recruit.
Bradley Beal last year, bro. What are you talking about?
And what does that mean,
bro? Bradley Beal is not a free, bro. What do you mean, bro? That is a recruitment, bro. That is a recruitment. That's like illegal. I'm not saying.
You can't tamper with other players under contract.
We just did it against Jalen Brunson. What are you talking about?
And we just
did it with Jalen Brunson.
We very well may pay for it. We might.
Yes, we should pay for it because we didn't have to do that.
Man,
my whole point
hater.
was,
this guy's a hater.
I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
That's fine, yo.
Hey, who's Mark? Who's Mark?
Again, I'm not gonna disrespect a black man that's probably older than me, calling me a hater. Like at the end of the day, we're 28 years old. Like I don't get this. Like what are you talking about?
Hey, hold on, y'all. So we gonna
talk about the Knicks. Like you know what I'm saying?
So this a little bit different.
You don't want the Knicks to.
We're gonna hey, hold on for just a second, yo. We're gonna do this like this. We're just gonna do it like this because, like, what we doing is a thing that the antithesis of what Uncle Freezy like to do. Y'all know I respect everybody's opinion, and I be wanting people to rock, but we got to put forth a quality product. So what I'm gonna do is bring on a couple people at a time, let them rock, and just move them off the screen until we can get back to some semblance of what we want to do. So I want to bring in my guy, and I want to bring in a couple of my guys just real quick. And guys, if you backstage, just hold on, just be patient. Just be patient.
Mark, I have never disrespected you. You know me and you spent hours. No, they gotta let me finish, Mark. You gotta let me finish. Come on now. You said I act like I'm the smartest guy in the room. That was disrespect, Mark. I've never.
That's not disrespectful. That's how you was just acting, bro.
But you're making judgment. You're passing judgment on me, Mark. I've never passed judgment on you. That's disrespectful. You don't do that. So let me say this to you. What I'm trying to debate with you is this: if you say Brunson is not the right guy to come here because we don't have the right pieces, so you shouldn't overpay for him. Who should you have realistically brought here? And you needed to bring somebody here because let me land the plane, Mark, because I'm shutting up after that. Because I never thought you would disrespect me the way you did. So me and you gotta have a whole nother conversation.
I didn't disrespect you.
We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna let you respond to that. But Mark, you have to get talent. You can't say you're gonna develop players and you don't have nobody that could dribble the basketball. What none of y'all said is Jalen Brunson can take the basketball and dribble it wherever he.
Hey, G.I., you in the Matrix, bro. G.I., you in the Matrix.
On the floor.
Who's Mark? Can you hear G.I.?
No, I can hear him. He's in and out like the Transformers, bro.
Okay. Hey,
am I better now?
No? Yeah.
My bad.
We didn't hear that last 20 seconds or so.
Jalen Brunson can take the basketball and dribble it anywhere on the floor he wants to. There's not a current Knick on the floor last year that can do that. So how can you develop guys if you can't get them in the place they need to be on the floor? All the way around. So they had to do that. If Brunson was the only thing they can do, then you can complain about that. But to sit here and say this is not going to work, it's unreasonable.
I didn't say he was not going to work. I said the team that we have, for Brunson to look like what he did, we're looking for the production that Brunson did in Dallas. Can we all agree on that?
I'm telling you, he's going to look even better than Dallas.
No. He's
going to look better than Dallas. I'm promising.
Hold on. Because in Dallas, I think that's the best you can get. Because if you're talking about ceiling, now you're asking for all-star Brunson, and I don't see all-star in Brunson. So I'm trying to take what he's best looked at. That one good year he had. He had one good year. One good year. So I'm taking what I've seen from that one good year and putting it on my team with the team that is constructed, the guys that we have, the inefficiency that we have. So if I'm looking at my talent compared to what Dallas have, and I see how Dallas uses him for his game to look as it looked, then how the Knicks and Tibbs would run his system for him, it is totally different.
And Mark, my response to you is this. I don't know any of that stuff you're talking about, comparing him to Dallas, comparing him to here.
We don't. Okay.
Can I finish?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm telling you, we need somebody who can dribble the basketball under pressure late in games, and he can do that. And we haven't had a Knick in 15 years, and you're not arguing that. You're saying a bunch of nothing, quite honestly.
Okay, so I'm gonna argue that. I'm gonna argue that. I'm gonna argue that. Was Brunson the only good point guard out there? Because I have two.
I thought this over. Maybe Malcolm. I'm gonna
Sexton.
respond. Malcolm Brogdon. I'm giving names, Mark. I don't play games on here. You see me debate on here, bro. I don't play games. We got people watching this channel. We gotta give content. Malcolm Brogdon. I kept saying,
I'm off on that.
To give Brunson, he don't have much left. Hell, I even thought, man, just spin the wheels on Russell Westbrook one year, at least at that contract. But listen, I'm Mark, but I'm running through. I didn't just say, oh, be lazy, give Brunson. I thought of other options, and I gotta be honest, Brunson kept coming out as something as a reasonable look. It's not horrible.
So Colin Sexton is a reasonable look.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Hold on, I could get the same.
Brunson's better than Sexton. Brunson's better than Sexton.
How much better? How much better?
At least 10 to 15% better. Here's the thing: Brunson can prove he can be a distributor because he even gets 5 assists.
He's all right. He's all right. He ain't.
Yeah, but Sexton is not a distributor at all.
So let me go to Sexton numbers, because what I saw in Sexton, I don't see that he's significantly better than Thing. I looked at Tyrus Jones. I could have got him for 2 for 30, and then I could have added more depth to my team. He looked pretty good with Memphis. He could dribble the ball, play under pressure. He looked good in the playoffs.
The Tyrus Jones is a legitimate argument. The Tyrus Jones is a legitimate argument.
Okay. That's a legitimate argument. When it comes to Brunson, I'm not talking about his game. I'm not talking specifically all about his game. I'm talking about you're giving away lottery picks to get a mid-tier guy. He's mid-tier.
Oh, I want to respond to that. The best at number 11 was Durant. He was the best at number 11. Hands down. You look at up and down the draft board, everybody, we said if Durant falls to us at 11, sign him and let Mitch walk. They decided to re-sign Mitch. They probably decided to re-sign Mitch a long time ago. One thing, Mark, I am going to jump on with you about this administration. They're not flexible. Once they decide to do
backwards.
Something, they're backwards. Not flexible. Once they decide to do something, they are too afraid to go back because they're too much agents. They're not cutthroat like other GMs. They're not Danny Ainge. And that's what my fear may be. They may need to be cutthroat one day. So I will give you that.
Okay, so being a guy, right, that analyzes my team, people think that I'm hating on this team. No, I'm trying to get this team right. And every time I come up with a point and what we should do and how we should do it, my point always ends up coming up very right. We invest $300 million to Evan Fournier, to Julius Randle, and Brunson. You tell me, if you ask anybody, that's what you waste your money on? That is $300 million. That is nuts.
Yeah, but how are you blaming on Brunson?
Hey guys, let me say something real quick. Hey, Shotgunner and Eddie C, get ready. We're gonna give GI and who's Mark about 60 more seconds, and then we're gonna ask them to respectfully hold on, and then to the new guy, to other guys come in to get some screen time.
Okay. My question to you is, Mark, what you just said is legit, but to say it right now, I know you've been complaining about Randall, but you shouldn't let Randall signing impact the Brunson signing. That's not cool.
It's not,
the 20-year signing, because you put the 3 together. That's all I got.
No, Randall's game impacts everyone on this team. That's been my whole spiel, bro, and it's pure facts. So if I'm bringing in a player, right? If I'm bringing in a premium player, I'm afraid because you have one guy that doesn't understand.
So then, Mark, we got to wrap this up. So your positioning, is your position that Randall sucks so bad you shouldn't sign no other players? I'll shut up.
I'm not saying that. I said right now I'm okay with Brunson because he's here. He's here. But the inflation of him being here, I want fans to just calm down, because when it goes left, we will be here next year. People talking about wanting to get rid of Randall. Freezy, you have the whole city, Twitter. They rather get rid of Randall for nothing now. And I've been preaching for the last 3 years. It's not that Randall he's not a scrub, but he does not understand team concept. And if you want this team to look good, if you want the players on this team to look good, and if you're investing so much money into this one player, to help your team elevate, and he's not doing it, that's the problem. It's going to make everyone else on the team digress their game, and that's what happened. And that's
okay.
my point.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, let me bring the other guys up real quick, right? And then that way we can get into a round robin. That way we won't talk over each other. Thank you, man.
Yo.
Hey, guys. Hey, man. Hey, I'm sorry about having to separate everybody, man. But but if we don't separate everybody, then y'all know how it gets. So what I'm asking you guys is, I don't care about the overpay no more about Jalen Brunson because he here. Ain't nothing. We can't undo the contract and all that stuff. What I'm asking you guys now is how does Jalen Brunson make this team better going forward? And I want to start with Keyshawn, and then with Don P, and then we'll go with Shaguna, and then I'm going to ask everybody to just take their time and just let everybody speak. That way, you know what I'm saying, we won't trample all over each other. CJ, I see you backstage, man. I'm gonna let these dudes rock, and then we'll bring you on you, Chop, and then who's Mark, and then we'll just keep round robin and like that. And then once everybody get everything out their system, then I'll put everybody back on the main thing, and then we'll rock from there. Go ahead, Keyshawn.
All right. So first things first, I think it's very important of why we signed Brunson is his mentality. He's a dog. Just like all the other kids we drafted so far the past few years, like IQ, Grimes, they're all dogs. They all have that same mentality. So adding him is just going to create that environment where it's just never give up, never, all that. So there's that. And then you have his pick and roll game he's one of the best at pick and rolls, by the numbers. And you have him with Randall, who I think didn't use the pick and roll because he didn't have guards that can dribble or pass. You might see more the floor open up, and Randall might go to the paint a little more. And it might open up space for RJ and those guys. So there's that too. And he's very efficient. He doesn't need to get 20, 30 shots a game to get 20 points. He just needs 12, 10 shots. He's an efficient player. So I'll just leave it at that.
Go ahead, Donkey.
Yeah, so I got done eating some popcorn, man. It was entertaining to say the least. But I agree on the whole with what's your name, Shot Gunner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about Brunson, man. About I would say Freezy brought it up first. He called it nepotism. It was nepotism. I say it's blatant nepotism at its finest, because I honestly believe that the Knicks organization didn't do their due diligence and look at other point guards who could have been better options than Brunson. Right. Now if Brunson was the last available option that we had, then that's something I'm gonna have to eat that. You know what I mean? But just the fact that we signed Brunson like he was just our only target, I didn't agree with that at all. There was other options out there. Either we could have traded for to be our point guard, or we could have get a free agency for a cheaper price. And the thing about people talking about stop watching people's pockets, specifically when it comes to the Knicks organization overpaying for players, that kind of it messes us up when it comes to bringing in other players that we really want. So it's not that we watching pockets. It's like nah, this dude is. There's some people who believe that Brunson is just not that dude. I, for one, don't believe he's that dude. I don't think he's a true distributor. If he proves me wrong, cool. But at the very least, if that's not who he is, I don't think he's gonna fit with the team. So off the whole off-court nonsense or whatever, I just don't think Brunson is a good fit for the team, because I don't think he's a true distributor. I don't think he's a true facilitator. He's only 6 feet tall. He's not athletic. People talk about how he could get to his spots. I want to see what happens when a team traps him, or when the scouting report is out on him. And then when the scouting report is out on him and he's the main target, I want to see how he buckles then with NBA talent that's athletic. So that's his touching piece on Brunson. It's not that I'm hating on him. I'm not. I just believe that he's not our due for the future. And if we get in a stopgap point guard who's a temporary piece, we could have got somebody like Colin Sexton. We could have got somebody like that, or we could have just stuck with Emmanuel quickly and see how he progressed. But just the fact that the first dude that we aimed to get was Jalen Brunson, I'm not feeling that. I kind of feel like they swindled us a little bit. I feel like everybody's just going along with it because it's hype. It's a trend. I just never been willing to jump on the hype train just because everybody else is hopping on it. That's my two. I lay my plan.
Hey, so this is Shy Legacy, right?
Which one? Who talking?
You.
No, I'm shotgunning.
What's your screen name in the chat?
Shotgunning. It should be my YouTube.
Shotgun? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought I had you confused with somebody else. My bad.
Yeah, no, you good.
Yeah. Hey, so I understand your point. I understand your point about Brunson. About who Brunson is and what we paid for him and his fit, right? The fortunate and unfortunate part is that no matter what we disagree with, let me do this. No matter what we agree or disagree with, he's here.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you think Brunson will make this Knicks team better? This version of the team, right? And without speculating about who's coming and who may not be coming. How does Brunson make this team better?
But hold up. Yeah, it's my turn, buddy. Oh no, I'm gonna let you go next. But that's everything he says is what I agree with. So that I'm gonna answer your question. He don't help the team. The reason he don't help the team because first of all, we just got rid of Kemba Walker. First of all, everybody don't understand Kemba Walker and Jalen Brunson is the same height. I don't care about Kemba Walker knees. I don't care about anything. First of all, Tibbs is set up for Tibbs to fail. Obviously, this is a CAAA all alignment. So Johnny Bryan gonna probably be the coach or whatever his name is, the guy that used to be in Utah. This is all a collective. This has nothing to do with basketball. The signing is clear as day. You can clearly say that. So he don't help us because he's not here for basketball reasons. He's here for friendship and relationship reasons. That's why. Nothing to do with basketball. All the stop and get to his spots. None of that makes sense. Again, ain't nobody hating on nobody. I'll never hate on another black man. And again, salute to everybody. When we all had that chat, I apologize to anybody if I rubbed anybody the wrong way. But I want, like I did, the reality of the whole situation is that he don't help the team because he's not here for basketball relationship. Nobody ever said that, hey, a $100 million guy, I'm looking for at least a 4th or 5th seed. Anything lower than that, expectations is set low. I don't care about none of that. And that's why we're not looking like a team. I don't think we even thought about competing with the Phillies and the Milwaukees and the Bostons and them teams are going nowhere. They're young. And that's why I feel what he was saying. This is not a it's an insult at the end of the day. I felt like we should have put our chips in the hat and went and got Spider. At the end of the day, would you say we based on pick and rolls, but to Eric Spoelstra defense, and when Eric Spoelstra wants the Jazz buy out Patrick Beverly and he go to the Heat. They don't. Oh my God! Are you Patrick Beverly on the Heat? That don't. Do you think that's scared? Oh my God! That do not scare them, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Well, let me. You do know that Eric Spoelstra's Heat team lost to the Celtics, who didn't have a traditional point guard.
True. That's why they went out and got Malcolm Brogdon, but they still went to the playoffs. See, a traditional point guard to me is like a Steve. Like we got to go back to that. It's a lot of more scoring point guard. A traditional point guard is a Steve Nash type of point guard, somebody that distributes. Nobody's saying that about Brunson. He don't distribute. He don't average 10 assists a game.
Just because he's not Chris Paul doesn't mean he doesn't distribute.
I never said that. I never said that, sir.
He doesn't distribute at all, though.
Yeah, he said
he's more of a scoring partner. But he's more of a scoring. That's all I said. That's
right. But and here's the thing too: when one guy that you start with has a 37% usage rate, your assist total is not going to be that high because you don't have the ball in your hands as much. So when his usage rate increases, we would think that maybe his assist total or his scoring, one or the other, maybe both, will increase.
But could I ask you a question just to elaborate off of that? Do Luka deserve the ball? Do Brunson deserve the ball in his hands more than Luka?
No,
No
no,
one's
that's
saying
not
Okay,
that.
so what? I don't. So he deserved to get that
Right
usage rate because he's not a superstar. That's
Right.
why I don't get that point either. Like Luka is better than
and
him.
that's why I don't answer
That,
questions.
so that's why it don't matter.
You just took what I said and formulated my opinion when I'm sitting here. If you wanted my opinion, you just could have asked me for my opinion.
Yeah.
I would have told you straight up that Luka Doncic is the better player. That's why he had the higher usage rate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because I understand what you're saying, but we didn't have to go around town to get there. Right? We
I'm not.
Both of us could have said Luka Doncic is a better player and playmaker. Luka Doncic is a generational talent. Jalen Brunson is not. We agree. We agree. Because if you'd have just came out and said it, I'd have been like, right on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yep, you said it. You broke it down. But basically, that's all I'm saying. And I think he's challenging that. You know what I'm saying? I think he's on the all-star level. And at 26, it's like, bro, you kind of in the like you in your prime, but you kind of like edging out there. If you ain't make an all-star by yet, bro, it's like no disrespect. I'm not hating on nobody. Hopefully he comes to this team and help us to the. I'm not like I said, but like I'm just looking at the signing. It don't make sense basketball wise. That's why I think it was more of a friendship of a Leon Rose and a Rick Brunson and a Jalen Brunson relationship signing. That's my whole thing. Why I don't like the signing. That's clear as day. Signing. It's a CAA. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying.
You're saying
that's all I was saying.
Aspect of it.
That's all I was saying.
I agree with you. Hey, y'all, just be patient with me, right? I'm gonna pull y'all off, but I'm gonna pull everybody back together in a few minutes, right? But just let everybody go around and do their thing, and then I'm gonna bring y'all back on. Okay. Hold on for just a second. All right, so we got CJ. CJ, what's good? Hey, what's good? What's good?
Oh, what's up? What's good? What's good? What's good? Shout out to you, Freezy, and everybody in the chat. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm sorry about the wait backstage and all that stuff. We just got to kind of clear this thing up, man. How y'all brothers been, man?
I'm good. And yourself?
Hey, we can't hear you, bro. CJ, are you muted? Sound like you're having an audio issue.
Good now.
Oh, I can hear you now, but you
all right.
Okay, there it is. Man, so the Brunson thing has us a little bit contentious.
Man.
Yeah, I hear there's a lot of smoke in the air.
Yeah. What I would say to the Brunson thing, just for y'all to understand my stance on it, is this. I'm not a fan of the money, and I'm not a fan of the long-term projection. I am a fan of this front office targeting a guy and getting him, right? And so for those that say that they just locked in on Jalen Brunson, this front office, he was their only target, that's not true. Because for one, when they first got here, they targeted a bunch of people and couldn't get him, and then they had to go back and re-sign Elfrid Payton after they cut him and paid him to the same money, the same exact money they cut him because they didn't want to pay him. They paid him the same money. Elfrid Payton got the same money, right? They signed Austin Rivers the first year. The second year, I'm sorry, that first year they signed Austin Rivers, they signed Elfrid Payton, they traded for Derrick Rose. The next year they signed Kemba Walker. It didn't work, and so this year they go after Jalen Brunson. So their search for a point guard was not just this season. Right, they've been after point guard. Man, they drafted 2 point guards in the same draft, and Rokas Jokic and Miles McBride. Right. So their search for a point guard has been on and popping since they've been here. They just hadn't found that guy, and then I think they finally got the guy that they feel like is the guy that can hold it down for the next couple of seasons at least.
Yeah, I think it was like I have my concerns a little bit when it comes to the money wise. That's just the market of the NBA. I know people are upset about him getting overpaid, and that seems to be the narrative. But if you look at his contract and how much he's going to make annually, it's going to be around. He's going to probably be like 14, 15 highest paid point guard in the NBA. So it's not like he's making a substantial amount of money, top 10, top 5 type money, super max type deals. So I think it's a good move, and then. And
that means, and based on your math, that means he's probably the 7th best point guard in the conference, right? If you divide it evenly,
right around there, yeah.
Yeah, and so that means he could probably get us to the 10, 9, 8, 7 seed if everything goes right, right?
Right. If everything goes right, I mean, I feel like he left because he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the floor general. He wanted to, obviously Luka is a guy that has the basketball. He's the focal point of the Mavericks offense, and he felt like he wanted to go to a spot where he could be the floor general. He could be the point guard. I mean, he's been a winner everywhere he's been. Villanova, 2-time national champion, player of the year. Basketball-wise, I feel like it makes sense because, one, we've been talking about the Knicks needing a point guard for forever, it seems like. So that's one point that why it would make sense from a basketball side. And then also on the X's and O's, like, I do have my concerns because the Knicks don't have the type of spacing that the Mavericks had. So that's a little a concern for me, but I think he's a piece.
Why? I
He's a
feel
piece.
like I gotta disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I feel like the Knicks have spacing. They just didn't have cutters and ball handlers. Like, they have dudes that stretch the floor horizontally and dudes that stretch the floor vertically in Obi and Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims and Nerlens Noel. Well, Nerlens Noel is gone. Okay, Benny. My dog Benny is co-signing for Jalen Brunson. Get out of here, Benny. But what I want to say to you guys is I like the Knicks supporting cast better than the Dallas Mavericks. The only thing is you didn't see the goodness of the Knicks supporting cast because they didn't have a maestro. Like, we have a great saxophonist, a great trumpet player, a great drummer, great guitarist, great pianist, right? But we didn't have a maestro. We didn't have an orchestrator.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you got all the music playing on the top of each other, it looked like a mess. But if you bring in an orchestrator, it turns this group of just instruments playing randomly into an orchestra.
Yeah, but then,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I mean. So say, for instance, I think Luka with this cast that the Knicks have in place, Luka Doncic on this team or last year's team, I think gets this team to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I know that sounds ridiculous, right? But think about the things that you need on a team in order to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Do you need wing defenders? I think the Knicks, for RJ Barrett and some other, I think they could do solid. I mean, the defense finished 11th in the NBA. For those that are about to bash what I'm saying, data says the Knicks had an upper level defense at 11 and rising. It was rising because it started out as 28 and it just ran out of games before it could make it to the top 5, right? 3-point shooting, right? The Knicks were in the top 12-ish in 3-point shooting.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Rim protection. Do you think the Knicks had rim protection with Jericho Sims, Taj Gibson, and Mitch Robinson? Do you think rebounding? Do you think the Knicks had great rebounding, offensive rebounding, and Mitch Robinson, and defensive rebounding in Julius Randle?
Can I interject?
Yes. Oh, let me just say this one thing, and then I'll be out the way. Just one thing. The role players, if healthy, Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickly playing with a Luka Doncic, do you think they could have been complementary to a Luka? I say yes. Right? Hey, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
Now, I just wanted to interject on your point, right? They ran the 6 most pick and rolls in the league, right?
Yep.
And they had 3, and then 3 of their guys were in the top 61, right? If you watch Basketball News, he said that, right? And actually now they have 4 because Brunson was 29th. He's higher than all of these guys in running pick and roll. So he's more efficient than all these guys. The problem was the Knicks were 4th worst in the league at pick and roll efficiency because nobody hit shots.
Right.
So the Knicks just need to work on their shooting. They was 11th in defense, like you said. They just got another more efficient basketball player to help them out. Everybody's complaining that they didn't have a point guard. They get a point guard now. Y'all crying about what they paid the point guard.
Yeah, everybody's still complaining.
Yeah. Right. So one thing I know is that y'all never we're never those people are just never going to be happy. They're always going to be pessimistic about everything, and we need to change our attitude about this basketball team and be a little bit nicer to these guys. Yeah, it was a crappy season that shit, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Stop counting their money. You know what I'm saying? You can't that's what the market says they're getting paid. Only 5 players in the league are not overpaid. Everybody else is overpaid.
Everybody's overpaid.
So Bradley Beal is overpaid.
He just got that contract, right? They just him and Vucevic?
Yeah, Darius Garland just got $93 million for doing what?
Upside. I mean, you get paid on based on what you're about to do.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
and that's why I agree a little. I disagree with it a little bit. I think you get paid on your retention. Right, the retention. See, because if Bradley Beal, if the Wizards didn't pay Bradley Beal that money, they would have lost him, and it'd have been hard to replace his production. Right? They didn't want to pay Bradley Beal because they think Think about Bradley Beal has.
Well, that's what it should be based on. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bradley Beal right now is making more money than Michael Jordan made in his career. Does that make him better than Michael Jordan? No.
It's just the evolution of the game.
That's based on the Washington Wizards' ability to retain a talented player. That's all it is.
Right.
Yeah, they need to fill the seats.
Is Derrick Rose worth $14.5 million? No. But we had to give him that to retain him.
Yeah, you gotta start counting these guys' money, man.
Tyus Jones got what, 2 over 30? I mean, as a backup point guard. I mean,
is he worth $15 million a year?
But
no.
But it's like, I'm not really too concerned about that because that's just the NBA. I mean, the market. That's just what the market is. You know, the salary.
Business. Right. When I came in, I didn't even know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. We watched RJ for 3 years, and we know that he's about to get overpaid. And you gonna complain about it? Like, come on.
Well, what about Mitchell Robinson's contract? You by the airport? You by the airport? I don't know. I heard.
I'm just out on the street. I'm out on the street.
Oh, I thought I heard an airplane. All right. No. What about Mitchell Robinson's contract? That was okay. Or
it's good. It's good, but to me, he still has to. He
could have got more or no.
Nah, I feel like it's a solid number for annual. Can you look at Mark what Robert Williams got? He got around the same, but he's gonna have to improve. He's gonna have to improve on a lot of things offensively. Defensively too, from the perimeter standpoint,
right?
Just I'm not saying shoot threes, but a nice little push shot off the roll. Like you got to be a little bit more of a threat when you have the basketball. So just from a spacing standpoint.
So then the argument with others prior to us and everybody talking about maybe that contract for Brunson was ill-advised, or maybe it's in-house.
It's connected. I mean, it's always going to be connection based. I mean, he got his pops assistant coach now. His pops was assistant coach with Tibbs.
We could have kept like 10. We could have kept like 10, 15 of it and get somebody else too, or make another deal. I understand what people are saying. So,
but when I jumped in,
I didn't know y'all was arguing about it was a bad sign. I thought I just jumped on. And they're like, there's a chaos. So I was like, relax.
But my question is always who? It's like the guys that want to fire Tibbs, right? Who are you going to replace him with since you want to fire him so bad that can do the same thing that he does?
But the funny thing is, I always say this, like when I be typing in the chat. In my mind, Tibbs is not a head coach. Tibbs is the defensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. That's what I always. And me and my pops argue about this all the time. I'm like, Dad, this dude he's been under everybody else his whole career. He's a defensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. How do you say that when the dude is 2-time NBA Coach of the Year, Coach of the League MVP? Yeah, but
hear me out because you said what you was going to. You said what you
that was a half a season.
but he also developed. He also took the number 30 pick in a draft.
Yeah, but then everything is always in question.
He took the number 1 pick in the draft and made him the league MVP, and then he took the 30 pick in a draft and turned him into a bona fide
in Chicago
into the Hall of Fame guy in Jimmy Butler, right?
Like to me,
but they never succeeded anywhere else after that, right?
He's a foundation.
They should have won a chip already after Jordan and regime.
Tibbs to me
he needed somebody else.
Right, yeah, he's a foundation head coach.
He needed somebody else with him.
If the team is if the team is trying to rebuild and is trying to start fresh, he's a guy that you could bring in. He has experience, like you guys are talking about. He has the cachet. But to me, he's not a championship head coach because of what we saw in Atlanta and the playoffs in the 5-game series.
It's a whole different era now.
The offense.
Now who you replacing them with? Now who you replacing them with to win the championship?
I mean,
you're gonna have to take a chance. I mean, look at what the Pels did. The Pels got rid of an old school head coach in Stan Van Gundy. and then they went and got Willie Green, and they struggled in the beginning of the season, and then it worked for them, and they took the Suns to 6 games without their best player.
But you know what? But you know why it worked?
But try to answer my question.
I mean, you could say, you could say Johnny Bryant right there, sitting on the bench with Tibbs. There's probably some other guys right now.
What would happen? What would happen if because Willie Green looked amazing after they got CJ McCollum? Is that a coincidence?
Yeah, no.
Is that a coincidence, or is that Willie Green coaching? Now imagine how Tibbs would look if you added CJ McCollum to Tibbs. How would Tibbs look?
Well, we about to see how Tibbs
does
look.
That even matter? The whole question, right? With Jalen Brunson, how does Jalen Brunson fit with Tibbs and Julius Randle that probably didn't get along with Kemba?
His example was Willie Green, though, Chop. His example.
But what I was trying to do is I was saying, like, yeah, of course you need talent. Of course, a head coach, you still need talent, and I get your point. And when they brought in CJ McCollum, he was that facilitator and to help them get to the playoffs, and then of course win a couple games in a playoff series. We about to see it.
Damian Lillard there, so you got 2 vice versa guys. They work great together.
Yeah, but I mean, when Brunson went to, when McCollum went to the Pelicans, and how it helped them, get to the playoffs. For Brunson, we about to see. That's why they brought him in. Okay. He takes the basketball out of Randall's hands. Randall could be just more of a scorer. We know he's not a great passer.
Sir.
He can't. When he's doubled, he turns the ball over too much. Take that pressure off of him. Give it to Brunson. Let Brunson be the floor general.
CJ, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
You see?
Who is more offensively efficient? Chris Webber or Julius Randle? Who would you take? Chris Webber or Julius Randle?
Yo, that is
I'll
that's
probably
crazy,
say,
right? go ahead and say Weber. Go ahead and say Weber because I got numbers. I have numbers and
he had White Sharker with him.
I'm gonna say Weber, but for Randall, what happened with Randall is once he's learned how to space and started shooting the basketball, the things that he did in his last year in LA and what he did in the Pelicans diminished. He stopped becoming a roller. He stopped playing in the post. Once he started to learn how to shoot and developed his shot, he became more shot dependent. You
mean jump shot dependent, not
jump shot jump shot dependent, right?
CJ, sir, I swear, I be saying in my mind, he think he's Carmelo Anthony. He's not that dude.
Right.
He's not a team player. He's not gonna fit with these young boys, the guys that we have on this team. We need to ship him out of here. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Chop, who would you rather have, Chris Webber or Julius Randle?
I'd rather have Webber. Because what he's gonna do, he's gonna be the new Sean Kemp.
Right. But did you know over their career at the same period, Julius Randle averaged less turnovers per game than Chris Webber, and less fouls.
But that was a different time. You already know that era,
right? So that's a different time, right? Because now, think about it. Now
you can't even touch nobody with your fingertip.
Right now, the era is more spacing, right? It's easier to pass and do things now, right? Right. So that is the compliment to Julius Randle at 6'9", 250. Chris Webber,
but he ain't doing it good. He's not doing it right.
Weber got
he's not doing it right. He messed up.
To be a number one guy a lot sooner.
He want to be Melo, but he's not doing it right.
Randle just now adjusting to this guy. 2019. So
Chris Webber didn't come into the NBA to be the guy.
Not right away. Right,
Chris Webber was a Fab Five. Remember, he's part of the Fab Five.
He was Golden State at first, and then he went to Sacramento and became a guy. But what I'm saying is, for Randle, it's an adjustment period. But he did have some point guards around.
He went to Washington first. Remember,
he went to the Bullets.
Washington Bullets, and then traded for Mitch Richmond to the Sacramento Kings.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you guys a stupid question. It's retarded. The chat, y'all can roast me. Y'all know me already. It's chopped. Would you kept Bobby Portis instead of Julius Randle?
I think Portis is a nice role. He's a nice role player. So nah.
With the players we acquiring right now,
nah. I think Portis is a good role player. He fits with the Bucks because he could space the floor. Giannis is that guy. Randle trying to be not Giannis in terms of type of player, but in terms of what their role is. That's what Randle's trying to be. So it's a little different. But
you believe in Randle to be that guy?
I have questions. I mean, if he doesn't perform, he's gonna get packed up. I mean, that'll be 3 out of 4. That'll be 3 out of 4 years where he's been underwhelming. And then you remember Leon Rose, they drafted Toppin 8th. because people in the conversation. I think I was watching the streams when they drafted. There was questions. Yo, Randall was gonna get traded back then. It was time for Toppin to come in when they drafted Toppin. That was the questions.
Right.
In
Well,
that
let
chat.
me ask you this, and then I'm gonna bring everybody back in.
Oh, wait. Before you say that, because Brogdon's supposed to be Brogdon is supposed to be
Chop.
Okay.
Okay. Let me do my thing, man. Because
I'm shutting up. My bad.
Yeah, we gotta make sure that we do this in it because we didn't even get a chance to hear my man Hinton, right? So the thing is we criticize Julius Randle so much, and we don't criticize the backcourt at all. And nationally, what Knicks fans look like is idiots. Right?
I'm sorry.
That's what we look like nationally. Nationally, we look like idiots. Like, how do you blame one guy for everything when in a nationally televised games your guards look atrocious? Right?
I'm not.
And nationally, everybody knows that the guards are awful. The front office knew it. It's why they went hard and heavy after Jaden Ivey. Right. It's why they shipped out Kemba Walker as soon as they could ship out somebody. Right. It's why they chase all these guards, and the rumors are they're chasing guards. And then the fans come on platforms like this and say Julius Randle all day long, like Julius Randle plays point guard for the New York Knicks.
Right, but
then see, Julius Randle should have faith in his other players.
I'm gonna ask you this question, and I ask it during the games, right? And I'm gonna repeat myself again. When Julius Randle doesn't play, do the Knicks have a shot at winning the basketball game?
No.
Exactly. So why? So this is what I'm saying. And everybody that
is there a start when we won without him?
Exactly. Like you may not, but you at least when he plays, you have a shot at winning the game.
Right.
Yeah, if he plays the right way.
That means he got to take everything on his shoulders. And not trusting his other players.
But to your point, like what you were saying, I mean, but fans, if you're the best player on the team, you're gonna take that. You're gonna get the love.
Yeah, you're gonna get the love and the hate, and that's the problem. And that's the problem with him. He cannot handle that pressure. But at the same time,
you gotta handle that in New York.
Yes, we know he has to handle it. But at the same time, if he don't play well, we're not winning the game.
Right, and
then we're gonna boo him anyway.
And to that question. In fairness to that question, only Knicks fans think that way. Only Knicks fans.
What about Boston fans? They think that with their sports teams.
In other cities,
yeah, other cities they do that.
In other child, I can speak for myself, man.
I'm sorry.
Right, in other cities, and they killing you in the chat too, yo.
I don't care.
Killing you.
I love it. I don't care.
Stop killing Chop. Yeah, that's my brother, bro. But look,
I don't care.
The thing, the thing about other cities is when they have a star and a star can't get their team over the hump, they clamor to get that star more help. In New York, when our star can't get a team over the hump, they say the star is whack.
To me, it's
in Charlotte with LaMelo. LaMelo is a distributor, right? LaMelo is a star on the rise, right?
Right.
When Charlotte lost in the playoffs, people didn't kill LaMelo Ball. You know what they were saying? LaMelo needs more help to get over They fired the coach. He was like, yo, we need to get LaMelo more help.
I saw in the paper LaMelo won KD.
Yeah, in New York though, we say the star is all the star's fault. And I'm not even saying in Brooklyn. I mean in New York in general, because in Brooklyn when KD and Kyrie couldn't, we was like, hey, they need more help, man. It's just a two-man team. But when it comes to the Knicks, it's always Julius Randle can't lead this team to a such and such. In Portland, Oregon, they like, yo, get Dame some help. Right? In LA, LeBron need another star player. LeBron can't do it by himself. But in New York, we saying Randle is the culprit.
Nah, but that's an objective take, and of course it's everybody. I mean, it's Leon Rose, it's Tibbs, and of course it's Randle. I mean, when the team fails, those are the three factors that's going to get blamed the most: the star player, the coach, and the front office. So you're right. Like it's not.
Well, it was something embedded in his head because he had that mentality.
Yeah, right. It's not just on Randle, but when we're talking about on the court and then how he plays, it wasn't
selfish.
Even though you're right, even though the backcourt definitely wasn't good. The way he played also didn't help either with, the bad shot selection, the turnovers. If his shot's not going in, he's not playing defense on the other side of the court. Like the intangibles, the leadership, putting the thumbs down to the fans, like little stuff like that didn't help either. So,
but see the leadership.
Are you from New York? Are you from New York?
from New York. Yeah.
How in the world can, and listen, I'm not taking a shot at I'm from the tri-state area, bro.
Okay.
But how can we?
You from all over, man?
How can New Yorkers and people from the tri-state area be so sensitive, bro? And they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. New York, tough, man. You know what I'm saying? All these things. And Julius Randle did a simple gesture, a thumbs down, and New Yorkers are in over their skis and they feel
because that's New York. That's like you looking at somebody funny, you do something.
I thought New Yorkers were tough.
They be like, what you said?
I'm sorry. I just think New Yorkers had a tough moment. I thought
Breezy, that was disrespect. Like that wasn't. Like we don't take like that. We don't take disrespect lightly. We knew what that was. That's why he got.
That was, bro. Yes, he was. Rose they should have traded him already.
He was upset because the fans were calling him out because it's poor play. So
Melo never did that. When we booed Melo never did that.
But why would you booing Melo?
Because remember, we booed Melo when he had poor games. Like,
So you can boo Melo, but
I'll boo everybody.
But nobody can boo you back.
I boo myself in the mirror. Like, you look stupid.
Like to me, like that's not. I mean, I see what you're saying. To me, that's not that too much of big of a deal for me. I'm talking about like strictly basketball, and then again, I'm talking about intangibles on the court. The leadership. I think somebody talked about the Chicago game last time I was on here, and how he reacted after that win, and how he really wasn't engaged with the team. Things like that, If you
don't want to speak after the games, right? He didn't want to talk to the media.
Little stuff like that. Whereas you got if you're gonna call yourself the guy, you got to take everything that comes with being the guy. Plain and simple. You can't.
That's why people don't want to come here because it's just too much to handle.
I mean, what's that statement? Heavy is the crown who wears it, right? When you come to New York, you got to put that cape on. You got to come out the phone booth.
Chop, let me ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you this question. This is just for Chop only.
I'm sorry.
What kind of kingdom is this? For me to want to have to wear this heavy crown, what kind of kingdom is this? The Knicks kingdom. What kind of kingdom is this?
This kingdom means, and this kingdom is, KD is like, yo, I'm out, bro.
Right, I'm saying if think about this,
that's what kingdom this is. Like, you know what? I gotta get out of here. And he was talking about us. And Randall can't handle it. Listen, if the fans is critiquing you, listen, you know this. Freezer, you do that all the time. The Mets, you are huge Mets fans, Yankees fans, the Rangers. Listen, the Rangers, and I don't even watch hockey. The Rangers had a whole bunch of 19-year-old guys, kids that went to the Eastern Finals for their game, if you will, right? And look, our young boys, right? Fans are just like that. Randall can't handle it. What he did last year, he should have been out of here.
Nah, man, I think Knicks fans are
not even out of here, but it's in question.
This is where Knicks fans are, right? And I'm gonna bring everybody else in. Hey, y'all, for all my people backstage, I'm going to bring y'all up right now. I just wanted to just clear the air with like a bunch of stuff with everybody and get their
because I know nothing about Brunson.
And
so, I thought he was good. Y'all was arguing. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing with the Julius thing and the Knicks kingdom.
You see,
we're not, as a Knicks fan, we're not in a place where we can be the selector of talent.
Right.
Nobody's beating down the door to come here.
Yeah, right? We're not the Lakers.
Secondly,
yes, sir. Nobody want to come here. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And think about
this. The question he asked me. This is the question he asked me.
I'm just going to interject real quick, PG. Even the Lakers got issues right now because they losing.
Right. Hey, but you know,
allegedly, right? The King LeBron is there now, right? Yeah.
And I'm gonna put Chop back here backstage real quick so we can get through this so we can bring everybody back. Chop, just hang out for a second. So, secondly, right? The Knicks have not won a championship recently enough for us to take this stance that we're in. See, if you're a Lakers fan, you can be impatient and patient at the same time, right? Because ultimately, you won a championship 2 seasons ago. If you're Toronto, you can be patient and impatient at the same time. See, the reason why Toronto is not considered a major U.S. market is, guess what? Toronto is not in the U.S.
Right.
Right? But Toronto is a major international city.
Yeah. I think it's
Let's
the
not
fourth
get it
biggest
twisted.
city in the country.
Yeah, right.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
like in North America.
Right. And think about this. And think about the division that we are in. Just think about our division, not the rest of the NBA.
It's the toughest division in basketball.
Yeah, right. And think about the markets in that division. You have Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You have New York City, New York, 2 teams. You have Boston, Massachusetts, right? You have Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 5 major markets in 1 division, right? So the pressure to win for each team is insatiable just because of the size of the fan base alone, right?
Not only that, it's a foundational piece for the league.
Right. Because here's the thing: the league is not going to survive without our division, right?
No.
The league is not going to survive without our division, right?
Nope.
And so I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna just I want to bring everybody in because everybody's had a time to decompress and think about what they want to say and all that stuff, right? What I'm saying to you guys is this: the whole thing with Randall being our savior, we need to get out of that, right? Because even if we trade Randall, the next guy, whoever it is, we're going to want that guy to be a savior, right? And if you remember the Tina Turner song from Mad Max, "We Don't Need Another Hero," that should be our mindset. Put a team together. We don't need no hero. Now, do we need stars and star power? Yes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll need that. Right? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
You need a player with gravity, but in terms of hero ball, we don't need that here. That never works. Bernard King didn't win a chip. Carmelo Anthony didn't win a chip. Patrick Ewing didn't win a chip. Right? But when we did win chips, we had great teams. Clyde Frazier, Earl DePearl, all them dudes. We won championships with a great team. Right? So what I'm saying to you guys is slow down on the slamming Randall thing or slamming whoever. Think about team building. All right. Hey, go ahead, bro.
I just wanted the Knicks need to build like a small market team, like in the big picture. That's how they really need to build. It's that the problem is that we're in New York City, so everything is loud.
Right. And that's the reason why I brought up the division that we're in aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in a division where everybody in our division is saying the same thing. And what it does is it compounds itself over the course of like say for instance, Boston went to the finals. That puts pressure on everybody else in the division to make a move to get better. It forces Philly, Brooklyn, everybody to reassess their position and to do something bigger and better. Right? That's what I was getting at ultimately. I wanted to kind of have it in a conversational thing, but since we got so many people, you know how it is, bro. All right, I'm bringing everybody back, man. Y'all got something to say before we bring everybody back? Okay. All right, y'all. Yeah. I see my man in the chat. Let me throw this out here in the chat just real quick. All right. So we got 1 more hour left before I got to get out of here and do some Saturday stuff. Y'all know how it is. You know what I'm saying? Saturday stuff. Right. So what I wanted to say hey, who's Mark? So what I wanted to say to you is I understand where you're coming from, man. I do understand your points, right? And I think you have valid points. My thing is though, I don't know if we should go. I don't know if we should probably go full steam ahead with. Here it is in a nutshell. Pick one direction and go, and don't compromise, right? If you're gonna rebuild with the kids, just go with the kids, right? If you're gonna go chase this star, go get your stars and try to make it work. But don't try to be halfway in the street for either one because you're not going to be able to go in either direction. What do you say to that?
All right, Freezy. For me, it was never about like getting a mixed squad. For me, it's about how we play every given night, how consistent we have to look further down the line if we can be a competitive team.
Right.
And I think our team lack a lot of players that don't understand how to play the game of basketball when it comes to spacing, moving yourself, playing as a unit. This team has to play as a unit.
When you say moving, are you talking about cutting or relocating?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes. Just moving your body. No,
I'm saying, are you saying add cutters or relocators on the perimeter? That's what I'm asking you.
Cutters, whatever you have to do to move yourself. Whatever you have to do to move yourself. If it means cutting, if it means relocating, cutting, it all can happen on the same floor.
Is it Miles Bridges or Klay Thompson? Is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, they cut. Miles Bridges cut.
But he's not Klay Thompson, a shooter, a relocator.
Well, he's well over 40. He's damn near 40% at three, bro. He's an efficient scorer at this point.
Right.
He's damn near 54. He's damn near 50-40, bro. He hits his threes.
Yeah, we need both. We need the cutters and.
So again, if we bring in Brunson, I don't have a problem with Jalen Brunson's game. I never said that. My whole thing is we're building a team. You have to get as much value you can get. I don't like you giving out something valuable to get something that you was already getting. We was getting Brunson. Because if Brunson didn't want to come here, he'd have signed to play with Dallas to be a good team. He wanted to come here, period. The Knicks went over $25 million. That's what they did. Because Jalen Brunson did not have a market. There was no other team. Pistons spend their money. Pistons is not even looking at him. Give me the other team where his market was $100 million.
Thank you.
Because Dallas wasn't even paying him $100 million. They had him at 20 to 22. This is my whole point.
So just for the record. So I spoke to multiple people in the Detroit Pistons market, and they were in on Jalen Brunson.
Yeah,
I spoke to one. Hold on. I spoke to one person in the Indiana Pacers market, and we're not formal. It's just I reached out to the guy to get his advice. We'll probably build something later on, but I just reached out to him. I'm like, hey, are y'all interested in Jalen Brunson? He was like, yes. Words out of Indiana they were in on Jalen Brunson to a certain price point, but they were not going to.
There we go. You just said it. So let me ask you a question.
But what I'm saying to you, Mark, is not the price. I'm speaking to the interest, because there is a difference between the interest in a player and the amount of money you would pay that player. What I'm saying is Detroit was interested in Mitchell Robinson and Jalen Brunson, wanted to get both, but they were not willing to pay up to a certain amount. The Indiana guy that I reached out to, I don't really know him, and I really can't even trust what he said. I can't trust him, but what he said was smart. He said Indiana could use a Jalen Brunson, and word is that they were interested in Jalen Brunson to a certain price point, but they're not going to risk their rebuild to overpay for a guy that may not be an asset or help them long term, because they have players that they're now young players that they actually want to play.
Okay, Freezy. Right? So you can have interest in somebody. You have a price point to it. The only price point that was out for Jalen Brunson until the Knicks made it. That's the point.
That's the thing, Mark. Though, was Dallas going to retain him for that price?
They didn't want to retain him.
And that's my problem. And that's where I agree with everything you saying. We made the point price market for Jalen Brunson. That is terrible.
They looked at the other starting point guards in the league and seen how much they got paid.
It doesn't matter.
Brunson just gets the point at these players and say, I'm producing more than these guys right now this season.
Everybody relax. One at a time. Mark is talking. One at a time.
Bro, do you know how to do business, bro? Like in real life.
Right.
Just because someone is interested, I can have someone.
Right, it's not NBA 2K, right?
They have a price point for me. Dallas' price point was 20 to 22. Where was Indiana's price point? No one has it until the Knicks came out and said we're going to bid all of this money.
Mark, I got a question for you.
One at a time, guys.
Mark, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
And we going back. We talk about this until the Mark. Is it your money? Is it your money?
Nah, it's not. But
All right,
we're
so you
building
can't. So
That's crazy.
Okay, wait, fellas, one at a time.
like you're complaining about something that you have no control over. So stop talking about the money. He got it. It's over.
No,
Right.
I'm talking about the logical sense of it. It's just like this.
That is the logical sense. They paid
No, I feel like
they wasn't going to get. They wasn't going to
Can
get
I
him
ask
for
you
a
a
dollar
question?
less
Hold
than
on.
they gave.
About
They
the
wasn't
money
gonna get him
thing.
for a dollar less than
All
they
right,
gave him.
wait, fellas,
Yeah.
wait. One at a time.
I just wanted to reply to the money thing. Like, first of all, like, I feel like that's irrelevant, and then that's always a topic that people throw at each other because at the simple
Exactly.
fact.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold
But you
on, listen,
complaining
hold
about
on. If I was in your if I was to ask you about your money, that would be disrespectful. But this was publicized. So we have
I don't
all the right
care.
to criticize. Yeah, no, that's your opinion. But we have the right to criticize something public. That's all. So that's that. You can never be.
You know the point guard market right
Okay.
now.
You can never be
Point
in
guard
nobody's
market?
pocket.
I
That
don't
was
think you
public
see the point
news.
guard market, bro.
Okay, it's about being smart and right. It's about it's either you're smart. You're trying to be smart about what you're doing when you're running a business. It's just like this. RJ might command 193 million. Anybody on this panel, are you willing to pay him 193 million?
I gotta see how he play. I gotta see how he played this year.
Because that contract is still in negotiation for RJ.
You have no control over what they're going to pay him.
So what y'all doing when y'all ask questions and people jump in? Y'all be like, hold on. So if you don't want people to jump in, don't ask questions.
Right.
Just say what you're gonna say and then rock. Because when you be like, well, Hinton, do you think such and such? And then when Hinton jump in, and then I couldn't Hinton on like, hold on, Hinton, nah, don't say nothing. Well, I just asked the question.
No, my question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my question.
That's my big bro.
If RJ is gonna come, RJ's commanding. He's looking at his peers and saying, "Darius Garland got 193, Morant got 193." Okay, if I'm running a business and this person does not perform at a certain level at the time when a contract is coming, that don't mean I have to pay him.
Exactly.
That don't mean I have to pay
go
him.
somewhere else. That's cool.
Okay, that
You'll
was
leave
my
and go
point. My
somewhere
point with
else.
Brunson was we made an offer that we didn't have to make. We could have played. We could have played our cards because he was coming here regardless.
Exactly.
Regardless, we could have gave RJ that 100.
How are you so
I don't
sure
believe
of
that.
that, Mark?
Okay.
Because hold on. Because the reason
Everybody
why
relax. Everybody relax. One at a time.
His market value was only at a Fred VanVleet value. You know, Fred VanVleet want to go up now. If he asking for extension right now for the Raptors because of what Jalen Brunson got, and he was an all-star. Hold on, Fred VanVleet is an all-star and he's a champion. So and he can only get paid 85.
20 million more. Y'all complaining because he got 20 million more.
He's an all-star and a champion.
And it's
He's an all-star and a champion, bro.
Top 5 player.
Fred VanVleet.
He can't say it.
Can you let me jump in real quick?
The third guy on that team or the fourth guy.
Man.
Bro, so let me get some IQJ. IQJ, what's good, bro? How you doing?
What's going on? How's everybody doing today?
Hey, is that phone?
Salute, sir.
Let me put it down. Let me put it down like this.
Hey, I asked you a question.
Well, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Is that the phone posit you got on the joint?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
the mix. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah. I used to add those.
Absolutely. Let me ask y'all this, because I know the answer, but y'all not gonna want to answer it. When the time came around a couple years ago to pay Fred VanVleet, y'all had the same arguments y'all having about Jalen Brunson now, because Fred VanVleet was a complimentary player for the Toronto Raptors.
Exactly.
He was not the leading point guard. He was not this high usage that you guys want to put.
But IQJ, what's your question? You said, hey.
My question is, why is everybody making a big deal about paying Brunson what he got? Because that's what the market dictated. When y'all didn't want to pay Fred VanVleet, a couple years later, y'all willing to pay Fred VanVleet that money. Everybody's just complaining because y'all haven't seen it.
Good question. Good question.
Oh no! Can I answer? I just want to answer real quick with that. How many players before? Name one player like you say? I challenge that. How many players you know before didn't even make a third All-Team NBA, a second All-NBA, Team NBA, didn't even make an All-Star, but got $100 million contract? Tell me.
Well, that's too easy. It happened this summer.
Jalen Brunson.
Anthony Simons. It happened too easy.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Anthony Simons is better than Jalen Brunson, but that was a reach. But again, that was a reach. That was a reach. That was a
He
reach.
didn't
That
make
was
the
a reach.
All-Star team.
Bro,
He
you
didn't
think
have all
Anthony
the
Simons-
That was a reach. That was a reach.
Hey, hold on, y'all. But
All right, chill.
But y'all, you asked the question and he answered it. So I understand where both of y'all going. Because I think Anthony Simons potentially is going to be better in the long run. You know what I'm saying? But I understand where you going.
A way better
You know what I'm
shooter.
saying? But he answered the question though. That was the thing. He asked the question and it got answered, right? True. But let me add. But why are we
get a bag?
And when it's all said and done, in a year or two, when the market goes up again, because there's going to be another boom in the cap, and if Brunson performs the way y'all think he might perform, y'all all going to say that his contract is so valuable because he's cheap compared to the contracts that will be handed out 2-3 years from now.
Y'all too sabe.
Okay, my point was, right?
That's just what it is for right now.
Wait, Mark, let him finish.
Okay.
Right, because that's the whole question is because we like, okay, the money aspect, is he gonna perform and make that work of it?
And Chop said, who's Mark? Let him finish. And then Chop
it's
cut
not
him
even
off.
about that.
My bad, man.
You walk into a place and you don't have to overbid for something that didn't need to be overbid is my whole point.
And I agree 100% with everything you're saying.
Okay, so I'm not okay. If I'm building a team and it's a salary cap team, we just invested $300 million to 3 players in Fournier, Randall, and him. And now people want to talk about why you worried about his money? People want to get rid of Randall's contract, so that means his money is a problem on this team.
His play
So my
is
point
his play, the way he
again,
plays.
It's not the money, it's his play.
His money's not a problem. It's his play that's a problem.
Is this a Brunson problem or is this a Leon problem?
This is the Knicks problem.
Hey, hold on,
John
guys.
Collins
We got
and
too
Tobias
many.
Harris
Hold on,
get
guys.
paid
Hey,
way
guys,
more.
we got too many. So we got too many questions on the floor. Let's start with the first question, right?
Very good.
The first question was is it Randall or is it Randall's play, right? And I think what we are doing here is disguising Randall's personality type as Randall's play. When a lot of you guys don't like Randall's personality and using the Randall's play on the court to validate the fact that you don't like Randall as a person. Like you
But don't they coincide together?
No,
I just want to go first.
No, they don't. They don't. Because what you put on the floor is statistic based. Randall's personality and all that stuff is opinion based. Right?
I'm going off.
Also
No, opinion based from the fans. But his personality on his attitude that we see in and what's going on, it translates into the game with the players. Whatever. Remember, they said you were saying it too. He didn't agree with Kemba Walker in the locker room or kind of whatever other stuff, right? All these other things, whatever he got going on, it translates into your game, if you will.
No.
That's when we talk about the play.
Okay,
Okay.
if I'm running an organization, right, and I got Julius Randle. He had.
So you asking me a question? Right? You asking me a question?
I'm about to ask you.
So my thing, who's Mark? I really don't like answering questions, bro.
Okay, so it's just like this. Okay, it's not even a question. I would rather, right? If a person got 2 years on his, if the person got 1 year on his contract, and he had a great year, but he had one more year, but that year it came late in his career. What would you do as a businessman? Would you wait to see if he could duplicate it again before extending him? Or are you going to extend him because you feel like you can duplicate it again?
See, that's the reason why I don't like answering the question thing, because I feel like you already have an answer that you want to hear, right?
No.
Right?
I'm asking you, I just want to know what you think about it.
Here's the thing. Here is the thing with Julius Randle. Just let me finish my response, and then you can have it. All right. So for one, I think the question is setting me up to say some things out of context, right? So for one, the New York Knicks didn't have an all-star player or the potential to be an all-star since Carmelo Anthony's prime years. Since Carmelo Anthony had the knee injury at the all-star break. You remember Carmelo played in the all-star game with the knee injury?
Porzingis was our last all-star, bro. Just saying.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Porzingis. Okay. So Porzingis, how many years were in between Porzingis making an All-Star and getting hurt, or Carmelo Anthony being hurt in the All-Star, and Julius Randle showing the potential to be an All-Star in New York City? That was what, 4 seasons? That was 3 seasons. Actually.
3 seasons.
3 seasons,
right?
2.5.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a half a season. The half a season he was the All-Star.
And so my deal is I'm talking about Julius Randle's most improved year. Backtrack to what's the tall kid, the dude Mark White, the dude that we traded. I don't be wanting to say his name because who's Mark is fond of him.
No, I'm fine with him going. I said it was a good thing the next day.
Okay, all right. So at the time, so think about the time that Kristaps Porzingis fell to the ground and grabbed his knee, to the time that Julius Randle was looking like a bona fide star in New York City.
No, he never looked like that. Never looked like
Mark,
that.
How you gonna say he didn't look like that and he made the
never
All-Star
looked like that
team?
before he came to
How
the
do you not look like that and you made an All-Star team?
No, what I'm saying is, Randle never.
See, that's the reason why I don't. That's the reason why I don't answer questions.
Yeah, because remember that was a half a season.
Uncle Freezy, they be like, Uncle Freezy, let me.
That was a COVID half a season.
And I'd be like, no, I'm not answering questions. And then people say, Uncle Freezy, man, arrogant, man, don't be trying to answer me questions. But the reason why I don't answer questions is because people that ask these questions want to lead you down a path and don't want you to think for yourself.
I'm not leading you down a path.
I'm thinking for myself. Who's Mark?
So you have to answer the question
on this thing. That's the reason why people are like, Uncle Freezy, let me ask you a question. I'll be like, no, get to the point. Say what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? Don't be, because who's Mark is trying to leave me. What I'm saying to you is, in context, right? There was a gap when our best player, for the time Porzingis was hurt, our best player was Emmanuel Mudiay. Our best player might have been Enes
it was
Kanter.
Tim Hardaway at the time.
I'm talking about the entire gap because what I'm saying is Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't here the whole time. Tim Hardaway Jr. went in a Porzingis trade. There was a time after Hardaway left, before Randle got here, that Mudiay was our best player.
Wasn't the move too? Wasn't the move?
Hardaway went to Atlanta and then came back.
He went to Atlanta and then came back, bro.
Then got traded. But
yeah, you're giving him a little too much credit, a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, there was a time when Kristaps Porzingis got traded to the time that Julius Randle was about to make the All-Star team, where our best player were lottery busts with dudes like Mario Hezonja. There was one time people were clamoring for Trey Burke to be the starting point guard. Why don't they just extend Trey Burke? And then this guy, Julius Randle, shows up. In his first year, when he get here, people were booing him out the gate. We paid Randle all this money. We paid Randle $18 million, $18.1 million. And other guys that signed in free agency during that time were getting $38 million, $35 million, $37 million. And we complained about a dude that made half that. Yet, we also signed in that same offseason 2 other dudes. One dude, Bobby Portis, was making $15 million. Nobody complained about Bobby Portis, right? Another dude, Marcus Morris, was making $15 million. Nobody complained about Marcus Morris hijacking the offense, right? Julius Randle comes here. The stupid coach that we had was trying to run R.J. Barrett and Alonzo Trier in a backcourt together. Two ball hogs in the backcourt together. Nobody says a thing, right? They just complain about Randle. Why do we pay Julius Randle all that money? Why didn't KD want to come here? Julius Randle has nothing to do with Kevin Durant not wanting to come here. Nothing. Julius Randle has nothing to do with us doing a Carmelo Anthony trade and giving up all those prospects. Nothing. Right? The power forwards here before Julius Randle, Noah Vonleh, Quincy Acey, Kyle O'Quinn, Isaiah Hicks. All these dudes came here to play the 4 before Randle We not complaining about them. Michael Beasley, Derek Williams. Derek Williams played power forward for the Knicks. And we not complaining about him. Right? We not complaining about Michael Beasley. We complaining about Randall. Randall get here with a coach that we know is terrible. How we know he's terrible? No other team hired him after he got fired. I wonder why that is. Because everybody on national TV saw this stupid head coach when we were down by one in a nationally televised ABC game against the Boston Celtics, down by one with 25 seconds left to go in the game. Marcus Morris comes to the table. They got the microphone over the top. Y'all know the preview the huddle, and he walk up to the team, and this MFer right together on the whiteboard. Instead of drawing up a play, he embarrassed us on national TV. Wrote the word together on the whiteboard. They like, Coach, what's the play? What we gonna do right here? Everybody screaming, yo, man, we need to do something. I can take my win. Like, hold on. He write together on the whiteboard. The people calling the game, they laughing. Now, that's what I call Mighty Ducks Disney inspiration right there. And they joking, well, this is ABC. We are owned by Disney. Everybody joking. Knicks fans about to throw up in their mouth. They're like, this is what we got? This is what we got right here. And we talking about Julius Randle taking the blame. This is the reason why I don't like asking questions. Going down this path of convenient facts left out of the conversation to get to a point to slam a certain thing. That's why when y'all ask, hey, Uncle Free, let me ask you a question. I'm like, no. Say what you're going to say. Get to it. Stop wasting time. You got something to say? Say it. All of us big boys here. All us big boys here. I'm glad. Matter of fact, I'm glad Shotgun is here. I'm glad Keyshawn here, man. I'm glad everybody here, man. Because we can have these hard conversations and recount all these facts in context, right? But to leave out certain stuff just to make something else look better, we can't do that. We got to have a complete conversation. We can't say, Julius Randle such and such and such, and not bring up the fact that the Knicks were terrible the 2 seasons before Julius Randle got here. And then we bash Randle. Well, it's Randle's fault because the guards suck. No, the guards suck. That impacted Randle. Randle is not a backcourt player. And if it sounds like I'm defending Randle, I'm not just defending Randle. It's also me defending RJ Barrett's decline in game. It's also I'm sticking up for Evan Fournier's who can't get the ball because the guards that we have, the playmaking guards, suck. I'm also defending Mitchell Robinson, who had the lowest usage rate for a starting center in the NBA. A starting center that can't touch the basketball. Are you serious? A starting center can't touch the basketball because the guards have tunnel vision and they can't pass. And we blame Mitchell Robinson for only scoring 8 points a game. Man, if y'all want to really get to it, if y'all really want to get crunk, we got about 38 minutes left before I got to get out of here. Y'all want to really get to it? Let's really get to it. Let's really put these facts on the table. Let's really start this thing. Y'all ready to rock and roll? Let's really.
And that's funny because you said that. It made me think about, listen, Jason Kidd, he spilled the soda on the court. They had to pause the game. Oh, that's a great player.
All these different things. What I'm getting at
as a coach,
we leave out. We conveniently leave out all these things, bro. We leave out. Yeah, CJ. We had a point guard named Emmanuel Mudiay, bro. He was backed up by Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina. But when we get Julius Randle, we forget about that year because we want to blame all the bad stuff about the franchise on one player.
No, I'm not blaming it no on Randle. It's a collection of everybody. It's everybody. I mean, like when you have the season that we had last year, it's the top player. It's going. The coach is going to get the blame, and then the GM and the front office, they're going to get the blame. That always happens. That's always what it is. I mean,
So when
but then also Randall's play. Randall's play didn't help either. The way he played, he didn't play like how power forward is supposed to play in terms of style.
How is that? How is it?
He's going to change.
Yeah, I challenge that too. Uncle.
Wait, people, let him speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
Roll into the basket, more post ups. When he was with the Lakers, his last season with the Lakers, when he was with the Pelicans, that one season, he was more aggressive.
Let me ask you this: who were the head coach of the Lakers at that time and the Pelicans at that time? And are they still head coaches? Are they still head coaches?
Luke Walton. And then he's an assistant coach with the Cavs right now. And Alvin Gentry.
Are those two coaches still head coaches in the NBA?
No.
You know why, right? Because they were terrible.
Right. Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
So what? I mean, what?
Yeah.
His style.
Hey man, wait. Only thing I'm saying is basically when we had Elfrid Payton, we was a 4th seed. So I do agree with Uncle Free. So it's about the point guard play. It is. Brando do play better with a pure point guard. When we had Elfrid Payton, we was a 4th seed.
Yeah, but Uncle Free had this thing. Uncle Free just said Elfrid Payton can't shoot.
Right, but what I'm saying, is when the point guard play is at least average.
I agree with that.
At least average, you see the goodness in our players.
But
when the guards are terrible, it affects the entire roster.
That's why I also think Brunson don't help us. That's why I think Brunson do not help us at all. That's exactly why.
We don't know yet.
All right, let me get a couple of thoughts off my chest real quick with the whole Brunson situation. I've been hearing the whole show while I was at work, and I was just jotting down notes. Did y'all know that the same concerns you guys had about the defense and then Brunson being trapped already happened when they were in the playoff series against the Clippers? Brunson got exposed. What did he do? He went in the summer, he went into the lab, kept working on his game. Come this year, it's not the same issue, right? Brunson is amongst the league leaders, not just guards, league leaders, meaning Giannis and all these other guys at finishing around the rim. Now the Knicks need to adjust their team to fit that aspect of Brunson's game. So for us to sit here and casually say, oh, we do not know how he's going to help the team. You do not sign him without a plan in place, not knowing how he's going to help your team. Because the simple things that Brunson could do is something we haven't had, period. So those simple things is going to elevate everybody else around us. Easy baskets, those other points he's going to score in the paint, making smart decisions. That's a lot of things that we're not equating into the fact of having a point guard, which is Jalen Brunson, a championship point guard, because he won his chip in the NCAAs, but people forget about that. The best players on his team, the same guys that he led to, are the same guys where, like Mikal Bridges and all these other guys from Villanova. We love the way they play basketball. Brunson was there from the get.
Right, he's built for
now,
this.
I'm not saying this as a Brunson supporter. The only thing I don't like what Leon did with Brunson is if you was this high on him, you should have gotten him a long time ago and paid him his max at that time, because it would have been 4 years at 50, not 4 years at 105. So now that we're in the position we are, we got to pay to play. So since everybody was afraid, including the Mavericks, to make a move, we have to pay that 100. It is what it is. Moving forward, I hope Leon is not scared to make a move for if, let's say, a Mitchell comes out. You have to pay and make sacrifices to win in this league. Us sitting here talking about what Brunson is making, it's hogwash. It's a waste of our time. He's here. He is actually a very good basketball player. Yeah, and y'all gonna see for yourselves. And in case y'all just want any more validation of this, the guy's name is Night Off. That's Davion Mitchell. If someone from the league tells you, man, listen, this kid's a problem, you should listen, because he's actually in the league. When Desmond Bain tells you, yeah, this kid's a problem, guess what? They're not bloggers. They're not YouTubers. These are guys that actually play in the league. And they're saying, yeah, this kid's a problem. That doesn't mean he's going to be our all-star. So let's not treat him as our savior. But we have a legit point guard on the roster now.
Right, he's a piece.
Move forward.
I get your point, right? I get your point. But what made Brunson good, he had multiple ball handlers with him. They ran a specific offense for him. We don't have. Listen, the players that we have are not as smart as the players on Dallas. So there's going to be a huge adjustment. And the thing is, right?
But we know Tibbs and Randall. We know Tibbs is on the hot seat if it don't work this year. So
besides Luka, who's the ball handler?
Relax, fellas. Relax, fellas. Go ahead.
My problem is not Brunson's game. Get it out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as a team.
Right.
For Randall to be good, if he's on the floor, he has to do Randall things to be good. It's because he's not a guy that's going to get everyone in the game. He has a hard time doing that. So for the Knicks to be a good of any team, Randall has to adjust his game so much.
Yes.
Not so much.
You are 100%.
Yes.
Because
Mark, you are 100% correct.
Listen,
That's
he doesn't get the ball for 3-4
That's 100% correct.
I don't want
That's a Tibbs problem. Tibbs needs to adjust now. This does not fall.
No, it's not a Tibbs problem.
Randall.
It's not a Tibbs problem. He didn't ask for him on his roster.
Wait. Go ahead, Mark.
It is a Tibbs problem because Tibbs never.
He is the coach.
He never told Julius Randle, this is what I need you to do. Tibbs was a sucker for the wins. So Tibbs is going to let Julius Randle do what he wanted because that's the only way Tibbs got wins the year before. And nobody else showed
He's going to run the players down,
to get those wins for him.
Wait. Go ahead, finish.
It's not only a Tibbs problem, though. It's a Leon Rose problem also because when Tibbs sees it and and he tells Leon Rose that this is not going to work, Leon Rose then has to move him. So it's everybody's problem.
Is that and that's my problem. Hold on, that's what to clear it. That's what I wanted to say because that's the problem. That's the whole point. Tibbs is not asking for these people. He's not asking for the Tim Hardaway's. He's not asking like they're forcing their CAA or whatever they're in agency on the Knicks. They're all in. It's obvious he's trying to push Tibbs out, bro. That's obvious, bro. But that's the whole thing. What we're trying to say, like, hold on. My thing too. Well, I agree with what you say. I'm about to let you go, but that's where I agree with you too. Luka is a different generational type of player, man. When you on his side, you able to do stuff. When you align with RJ and when you align with Randall, bro, the green is not much greener on the other side, bro. He's going to be trapped. He's going to be tight. Like, bro, he's not going to be open as he was. There's a floor space open way more with Luka because he's also a point guard. So he was able to get those shots because you got to respect Luka game. And that's where I agree.
Very good. Because somebody else has something, but this is actually very great.
Brunson's game is operated in the mid-range game. We just signed Mitchell Robinson.
60 mil.
No
spacing. Guys that take up the floor. So
no spacing.
Is Brunson going to be Brunson?
But we got Hartenstein who operates in the high post and can pass
hold on.
out
So
of it.
my thing is, right?
Okay.
If you bring in Brunson, right? This is where the Knicks mess up. You bring in Brunson knowing that man needs to operate in space.
Can he feast with Obi Toppin?
Hey, hold on. I like Harden. Let him finish. That was a good pickup. I like that because I like his game. He does a lot with the ball. He does a lot with the ball. He can make plays with the ball, and he can space the floor and hit jump shots. That's cool. Right. But you're signing Mitchell Robinson to play 20 to 30 minutes a game, and we all know Tibbs. He runs guys. If they're doing something good, like Mitchell Robinson, if he's playing good, but the spacing isn't there with him, he does nothing else to help this team. And my thing is not just it's the all of the team. RJ has to hit his shots. It's people for sure that he's going to hit his shot at a rate that it needs to be hit at.
I mean, he got to get better if he want to get the money that people want him to get paid. He want to get that contract. He has to step up. I mean, that's a given. So everybody on the team has to step up, not just.
Randall has to become a safety valve for Brunson. He has to become a true decoy. When he doesn't get the ball, I don't need to see defense lax. I don't need to see that. I don't want to see lazy. Yo, bro, I don't want to see when he sets screens, he brings his defender. It is so much. It's so much the details to this game. Brunson needs every single bit of that detail for him to be good, and that's what I'm afraid of because Randall is smart.
Randall trust in him. Mark, who's the big man for the Mavericks? Who's the big man from the Mavericks, Mark?
Who?
Not Kleber. Who's the other big man? Powell?
Christian Wood.
It was Powell.
Dwight Powell.
Can Powell shoot threes?
No, but one thing what he did.
So give me 1 second.
He didn't
do
that.
Hold on. When I'm about
to break your point. I'm about to break your point.
I know. It's not about breaking. You don't know what I'm going to say, Mark, so how can you break my point?
All right, go ahead. Relax.
It's not about Mitch clogging the paint because it's just a rim running big. It's going to be like that no matter where he goes. It's what everybody else on the floor does. So to your point about Randall, yes, that's what needs to happen with Randall. That's what needs to happen with RJ. That's what needs to happen. Whoever plays the two, the floor spacing matters there. For you to say that he's not going to have the space to operate just because Mitch is here, that's just lazy because we already seen him do it already.
Yeah, but Randall also operates in the mid area.
Okay, and I'm glad you said it because you missed the whole point. What I said that the Knicks need to do they should have done their homework when they made this signing.
Exactly.
They should know that.
Adjustments
and
with
now
they
need to adjust the roster for that.
Just to dispel, real quick, just to dispel this misnomer.
Yes.
That y'all are saying that Randall operates in that space. That right there is a seasonal adjustment, right? Because before this season, we used to call Randall baseline Randall because he operated off the block. That's what he would cook other power forwards. But then we complained about no handle Randall.
No handle.
We used to call him dubious handle. All these names because when the double and triple team came, since he was on one side of the floor, he would turn the ball over because he would be trapped on one side of the floor. So Tibbs and the coaching staff made the adjustment by putting Randall in the middle of the floor. And now y'all are complaining that Randall is in the middle of the floor. So I'm asking y'all, if y'all know basketball.
That's why you need a point guard to come in and
Hold on. I'm just saying.
Freezy.
Hold on. If you know basketball, like
let Uncle Freezy finish.
Because bro, y'all legit. I even went off the screen and let y'all cook, and then I came in and listen. I'm not answering questions. I'm not on trial. We ain't in court.
Like Freezy, what happened?
I'm interjecting.
That's what like that. Happened to that sandwich I had in the fridge.
I'm interjecting.
Let him finish. Let him finish, please.
Hey, hold on.
Guys, relax. Uncle Freezy, finish, please.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm gonna interject to your point. Don't forget, he learned to shoot threes the season before. He shot 40% from three.
Right.
Yeah. And just to add on to your point that you're making.
Right, and to that point also, what I was going to get to is people say all Tibbs worries about is W's, when that can be no thing further from the truth. What Tom Thibodeau does, and Knicks fans in their insatiable hunger, they discount a lot of stuff. Like they discount the fact that Tibbs turns average or poor 3-point shooters into money, right? Tom Thibodeau turned RJ Barrett from a 30% 3-point shooter the year before under Fizdale and Mike Miller into a 40% 3-point shooter under Tibbs in one season. Julius Randle went from a career 29 point such and such. You know the numbers going forever.
Yeah, it's a most improved
9 something forever to a 41% 3-point shooter under Thibodeau. Right? Yeah. Derrick Rose had a career year where he shot 32% from 3 in Detroit, came to New York and shot 40% from 3 under Tibbs. All these things we say, we leave out all the context of all these arguments just so that we can bash.
Listen, you know, New York fans, we're not satisfied. You can't blame everybody, Uncle Freezy.
But
not me, but you can't blame them.
Okay. One more point, Freezy. Evan Fournier broke.
Oh, go ahead,
Evan Fournier broke the 3-point record for the Knicks last year.
That was Screamer who held it, right? Screamer had that one.
And so what I'm getting at is this. We bash Randall. Randall can if Randall ran the pick and roll, we'd be bashing Randall right now. But
no, he ran
Randall used to be baseline Randall. Baseline Randall is what he used to be. Since he turned the ball over so much, and Knicks fans' displeasure, they called him dubious handle. They moved him to the top of the key where he can see the double team coming faster. And now we complaining that he at the top of the key. This is not a Julius Randle basketball issue. This is a fan's distaste of Julius Randle because fans were bashing Randle before he gave the thumbs down, right? And then now the thumbs down was the thing that sent all these sensitive New Yorkers over the top. They have been bashing Randle from the time he got there. And this is the reason why. Randle is not homegrown. That's all it boiled down to. That's all it boiled down to. If Randle was
I think it was his gameplay.
If Randle was a New York Knicks draft pick and had progressed to this level over these years, we would be celebrating Randle.
But he got love in the second year, though.
No, a lot of people was hyped that we got him. We saw potential in him. The last season, his gameplay.
It's the reason why nobody criticizes RJ.
It's the reason why nobody criticizes.
You know why I come with RJ? I said if RJ do not play up to par, I would trade him before I would pay him. I'm on.
But who's Mark? You said that, but those are two different things.
I'm not sold on RJ.
Hold on. Who's Mark said? But we said that's why nobody criticizes RJ. And who's Mark was like, that's why I said I would trade RJ. But who's Mark did not say that's why he would criticize RJ.
I said RJ. No, I said
those are two distinct things.
I always criticize his consistency as a player. But when you talk about his all-around game, it's there. His all-around game, it's there.
But it's been stagnant. It's been stagnant. You hear what Mark saying?
I got a question. Hold up, Mark.
Go ahead. Relax.
What's your name, Mark? I got a question.
You said Mark.
Yeah, I got a question.
Mark. That's his name.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I got a question for you. Is you taking SGA over RJ?
Man, I told people to draft him instead of Kevin Knox, and people said I was stupid. People were saying Kevin Knox had
Darius Garland.
Without, I'd have took Garland before I took RJ. I even said
Scotty Barnes.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards. Ja Morant.
All right, so let me.
He's not better than none of them players. Okay. So all them is his peers. All them players are his peers.
Higher than him except Scotty Barnes. Everybody would draft
all his peers though. Them are all his peers, and he's not better than none of them 5 players. So that's my whole argument where I just judge him from his peers, and he's not a max player.
He just have to be consistent with his shooting because he's gonna be a corner 3. That's where he's gonna get his points. So he gets his points in the corners or pin downs. He's not this offensive player that people think that he is. He's not an offensive. He's not an all-star offensive player. His game's gonna come within the system.
Mark, either you got it or you don't. Do you agree with that?
There you go. And that's what I said. I said,
and he don't got it. He got it. We always he in year 4.
I like RJ's attitude when it comes to the game.
But yes, he's a hard worker. And go ahead.
Yeah. If you want your team to reach a certain, and he has to be part of it because we drafted him. But if it don't work out, you have to make the right decision. Period. That's
not in New York. Not in New York. I mean, I just think I think the Knicks at this point is doing what I'm doing, what I just named. I just named them 5 players, and I can name more. You know what I mean? Ja, Luka. You know what I mean? All the players are.
Told me he's going to be an all-star next year.
I mean, that's no. That's a lot of hope, Mark. That's too much hope. Mark, that's too much hope.
That's a new Bernard King.
Mark
said it already.
I'm jumping one sec, guys.
Go ahead.
And, hold on. Your audio is terrible, bro.
Oh man. Let me take off my headset.
Come a little closer.
Yeah.
One sec. Headset.
RJ regressed last year.
Right. Hold on.
You're with a headset right now.
Hold on, Miz.
You got to make an all-star team, Mark.
Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Ashley. You got. I'm gonna put you right here, and then when you're ready, we'll bring you back. Kaiser Salsa, thank you for the generous contribution. Kaiser Salsa says you're comparing 3rd-year RJ to 8th-year Randall. That's not what I said. No, what I said is if Julius Randle was drafted by the Knicks, our conversation would be different. It's either you're a
Because
New
they're
York Knicks draft
homegrown.
pick or you're not.
Mm.
That has nothing to do with your level of play. It's
Only-
either you're drafted by the Knicks or you're not.
And I agree with Uncle Freely because Mark, you kind of on the edge of the fence. Again, I just gave you those 5 players. Is RJ better than those 5
Those are
players?
all number 1 options.
Scotty Barnes just became a number 1 option, right? He just showed his rookie year, right?
Not yet.
Okay. But he took his team to the playoffs, so we gotta give him some credit.
No,
Siakam the best player. Siakam the best player on the team.
Right. Yeah.
Pascal Siakam.
I didn't say that, but he had contribute to his team getting to the playoffs. That's all I said.
Yeah. All right, yo.
That's all I said. RJ,
Yo, how's the audio right now? How's the audio?
You sound good. You sound good. You sound better.
That's all I was saying.
I just want to make 2 quick points.
Go ahead, baby.
By the way, I got extra large popcorn because this is some fun stuff, guys. Thank you, man. Man, the popcorn. I was like, oh snap! I love the fire, but Mark, I want to get with you with your Mark. Sorry,
go ahead, bro.
You're the target right now. One was.
Wait, no. So whose mark is not the target? Is he your target? Is he your target?
He's my target.
Okay.
Correct that. Correct.
But no, one night I want to change is you mentioned the salaries were given out in the saying $300 million. You can't talk long, the term of the salary, but the annual salary, because the effect of our salary is based on the salary cap per year. So if I'm giving you $500 million over 20 years, it's still $5 million doesn't count if I'm giving you $10 million a year. So let's not talk about the total amount of the salaries combined, because it doesn't affect us. Dolan doesn't care whether he's going to pay out $300 million in 5 years, as long as we're not going over the salary cap this year. So
Yes.
25, 27, and 16 is for 3 players is way below the cap to pay for all of our other players. So that's not a factor right now. So that narrative has to be per year based on the cap, not based on the value of the overall contract. Okay, that's one thing I want to clarify. I think you are kind of like changing the narrative, making it look bad that Brunson, Randall,
I didn't say I like Brunson as a player, right?
No. I'm not discussing that. I'm just when you mention the salary, talk annual cap base, not
okay. I get you.
Right, because it doesn't affect us if they're only paying $60 million for those 3 guys.
Yeah.
Instead of $300 million over 5 years, it doesn't affect us $30 million. It affects us. $60 million affects us, and it's not that bad. If you look at it, it's not that bad. Especially since you can get off of 4 years contract in a heartbeat or So that's the kind of contracts per year. Secondly, when you mention Brunson, and again, I'm not a big Brunson fan, but when you mention that Randall in the middle or Mitch in the middle is going to mess up his game, but that's what he does. No, Brunson is much more versatile than that. Again, I'm not a Brunson fan, but he's much more versatile than that.
I never said he wasn't.
He has a mid-range. He can drive to the basket. He has a ridiculous baseline 3-point shooting percentage. His overall shooting percentage everywhere in the court is actually well above.
He's a good player.
And it's time to show and prove.
He's a good player, bro. I understand the hate.
His game is limited because of Mitch and Randall in the middle, when he can actually play in a more varied type of format. So I'm saying you can't undermine his skill set because those guys may block the paint.
But I only seen him play in one. Only seen him played in one format, and that was a 5-out system. That was a 5-out system. There was no other format that he played in but that 5-out system.
Well,
he played nothing like that.
Rick Carlisle ran 5-out.
He ran 5-out.
No, but I'm saying Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, he ran 5-out.
Yes.
But just because he's played in one,
he ran 5-out with Porzingis. Porzingis can dribble, pass, and shoot.
Right.
And that's the system that he played in. Right.
Tibbs don't run that at all.
Right.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan only plays triangle. You know what you're going to say? Michael Jordan only plays triangle.
But
they played other.
When Michael ran the triangle, when you watch him play, he gets the ball. He don't waste dribbles. You're talking about Randall. He wastes his dribbles.
I know, but I'm talking about Brunson.
Okay.
You saw one format, one scheme, and said, "Oh, that's what he plays." That's all I've seen him play. But if you look at the player's skill set, he has the ability to play in multiple systems
Yeah,
because he has the skill.
But you're
And that's his skill set, being a
hold on. It
6'1".
might look like
Yeah.
that, but I've only seen him in Dallas when he played the 5 out.
Exactly.
He's never played any different but a 5 out. So I can't agree with that. I only seen him play one style of play.
But that was the system
I
that
agree with Mark.
he was put
I agree with
into.
Mark.
I understand y'all guys, yeah. But that was the system
If
he
he
was
was
put
on
into.
another team before he came to the Knicks, okay. If he looked better,
But
on
he
a
excelled in
different
that
team,
system though. So we got
Exactly.
Yo, Freezy,
He's a
Freezy, you know what? I'm
space
convinced. Yo,
type
Freezy, I'm
player.
convinced. Yo, check this out, right? If he ain't homegrown, Knicks fans don't want him, and they ain't gonna never like him. So why y'all asking for help?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even want to hear
I
that
agree
talk,
with
yo.
Uncle Freezy.
I don't want to hear y'all talk no more. 'Cause, yo, if he ain't homegrown, y'all don't want him.
Yeah, everybody relax. Go ahead. But that's the
I'm
question.
gonna bring home Freezy's point right now.
Hey, so
Everybody
hold,
loves.
hold on real quick. So I got about 10 minutes, right? So
Damn.
I'm gonna take these last few minutes. I got some stuff that I want to say, but I want to thank everybody, you know what I'm saying, for coming through. Y'all know y'all welcome at any time. Just remember the etiquette of the show. When we come in, we're gonna be respectful to each other.
I apologize,
Right?
Freezy.
And we gonna like listen to each other. Even if we don't agree, we have to at least respect people's perspective and experiences, because all of our experiences and perspectives are different. Or we are not cookie cutter Knicks fans. So we're not going to root for this team or see things the exact same way. And that's what makes panels like this one, like Shot coming in, that's clutch, bro. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, I appreciate y'all. Hinton, of course, you know, it's a pleasure every time. I just hate the fact that we don't get to chop it up more frequent. I wish we could kind of tap into that synergy or whatever, but my schedule is nuts. You know what I'm saying? But and who's Mark is my brother. People they ain't know that. Me and Mark are brothers from MBK since like what 2014.
Bro, we don't
Mark,
have to
was it
do nothing to
2014
nobody,
maybe?
bro. We know where we stand. That's how I rock, bro.
That's how we rock, right? That's how we rock, man. I
That's what's up.
appreciate you. I got some a few things that I wanted to tap into, but I only got like you know what I'm saying, like 8 to 9 minutes before I get out of here. So I'm gonna say peace to everybody. I'm gonna take this screen to myself, right? But listen,
salute,
tune
peace.
in. Make sure y'all tune into
Miz, Hinton Murphy, the channel,
right,
salute.
right, and so make
The
sure
chat.
you guys tune into the Nothing But Knicks. I mean, not
Hinton,
Nothing But
see you
Knicks.
next
Make sure
season, Hinton.
and yeah, make sure you guys tune into the Knicks at Night podcast Monday night, because I'm gonna have the major Golden State Warriors YouTube content creator, Athletic Alchemy, Uncle Alchemy, gonna be on. He's gonna rock with me for a few minutes. We're gonna talk about the Knicks' future, the NBA landscape, the Golden State Warriors, and stuff like that. So if you're a fan of basketball in general, if you're a fan of basketball, like knowledgeable dudes talking basketball, make sure you tune into the Knicks at Night podcast Monday night. It'll be me and Uncle Alchemy for a few minutes. We're going to get into the rise of the Warriors, the decline of the Warriors, and the rebirth of the NBA champion Golden State Warriors. We're going to get about how the Knicks look nationally and not just in the tri-state area. Like, how does everybody view the New York Knicks? Not just Knicks fans, right? And y'all are going to be surprised on how the rest of the world views not only the Knicks, but Knicks fans. So right now I'm gonna say peace to everybody. Right? I just got some a few things that I want to say just real quick. Right? Of course, y'all smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Continue to help this joint grow. Jump on the panel. Come up here. Don't just say what you got to say in the virtual chat over here. Is that over here? Over here. Don't just see that over there. Don't just you know what I'm saying, gangster finger over there. Jump in the video chat with us. Chop it up. Chop it up. Come on in. You know what I'm saying? I invite, as long as you're not crazy, like doing certain stuff, just respect like what we trying to do here. Respect, because you're not gonna get, bruh. Y'all know y'all not gonna be able to just jump on the screen on other channels and just rock. Y'all know that. Right here, you get a chance to jump on the screen and rock and say what it is that you got to say as a Knicks fan. Right? And I appreciate that. And I love that. So what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all make sure y'all come through in the morning. We'll be here in the morning also I don't know what time yet. It depends on how. I got a puppy, so I got to walk the dog and hug the missus, you know what I'm saying, and be Mr. Uncle Freezy for a little bit before I jump on, right? I got to work all night and then come through, take a shower, eat a little something, and then we'll jump on and rock, right? Again, y'all the dopest chat in the business. Y'all the dopest chat going, right? Y'all the dopest chat in the business. Y'all the dopest chat growing and going. You know what I'm saying? This platform here, this platform here that y'all have created is one that other fan bases are jealous of. They want to be like y'all, man. So y'all keep coming through. Y'all keep supporting. Y'all keep subscribing to the channel. Y'all keep smashing that like button. And we'll keep providing a safe, bully-free, troll-free, for the most part, place where we can just hang out and talk Knicks, right? Again, I'm your man, the #1 Chief Rocket in Knicks Universe, Uncle Freezy. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later. Peace.